Welcome back. Ahead of Telangana Chief Minister KCR's national party launch, his party leader Rajanala Srihari was seen distributing liquor bottles and chicken to locals in Warangal in Telangana. In a video that has now gone viral, TRS leader distributed alcohol and chicken for free to the locals. Look at these visuals, viewers. Just a day before Chief Minister KCR is set to reveal his grand national plans, his Neta openly gives away about 200 liquor bottles and chicken to draw crowds. Telangana Congress has hit out at Chief Minister KCR and has accused him of gifting liquor instead of giving jobs to people.
KCR is a brand ambassador for liquor. Not only drinks liquor, but he also indulges into liquor scams. So this establishes the TRS party supremo is known for his drinking habits, his passion for drinking, and the way he promoting liquor sales in the Telangana state. Instead of giving jobs, he is distributing liquor. The highest sales in Telangana, the revenue which Telangana state is getting are from liquor sales.
Meanwhile, as KCR plans his All India outreach, support has poured in from the Christian community, with Bishop Salman Roy in Nizamabad passing a unanimous resolution in support of KCR. Bishop Roy said that KCR's leadership was necessary for secular India. We move on, viewers, to the other big story from Maharashtra. Ahead of the Dasera rally between the Shinde and Uddhav camp, security has been beefed up in the city. Mumbai Joint CP Law and Order Vishwas Nangre Patil has spoken exclusively to Times Now, giving details of the security deployment.
We have started our preparations since last 1 week. We have devised a detailed plan of action. So the focus would be on crowd control, because from the rest of Maharashtra, from rural Maharashtra, buses as well as light motor vehicles are coming in a large number. So we have got the information from our respective units in rural Maharashtra, and accordingly we have devised our road deployment as well as parking areas.
Festivals have taken a political twist this year. On one hand, in West Bengal's Kolkata, Mahatma Gandhi's localized was allegedly depicted as Asura at a Durga Puja Pandal organized by the Hindu Mahasabha. This immediately sparked a controversy. Cops had to intervene and the idol was modified. On the other hand, the RJD put up posters showing PM Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah as evil forces, while showing Lalu as 15-headed Lord Vishnu and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar as Arjun, being directed by Deputy Chief Minister Tejashwi Yadav, portrayed as Lord Krishna. While organizers of Durga Puja Pandal have been booked, no action has been taken against RJD over the poster.
बिहार की जनता की भलाई के लिए काम हो रहे हैं। नौजवानों को नौकरियां और रोजगार मिलने शुरू हो गए। किसानों के हित की बात हो रही है, लेकिन बीजेपी छटपटा रही है बिना जल के मछली की तरह। बीजेपी को कुछ हासिल होने वाला नहीं है। अगर किसी उत्साहित कार्यकर्ता ने पोस्टर लगा दिया, जनता ने कोई पोस्टर लगा दिया, तो आधिकारिक कोई पोस्टर तो आरजेडी का है नहीं।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी केंद्र के शासन में झूठे वादे करके आई। कहा गया काले धन को वापस लाने का वादा, 15 लाख सबके अकाउंट में देने का वादा, 2 करोड़ नौकरियां देने का वादा। आज देश में महंगाई और बेरोजगारी चरम सीमा पर है और ये लोग मुद्दों की बात नहीं करते हैं। लगातार इनके नेता गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी बिहार के दौरे पर आ रहे हैं, जुमले दे रहे हैं, झूठ का पुलिंदा खोल रहे हैं। लेकिन एक बात इन लोगों को याद रखना चाहिए, बिहार में महागठबंधन के आगे लालू नीतीश की जोड़ी के सामने ये लोग कहीं टिकने वाले नहीं है।
The BJP has lashed out at the RJD and has said that Janta will give jawab to Nitish Lalu की जोड़ी।
कौरव की सेनाएं सजी हुई है। इस सेना में जब कोई बचेंगे, राजनीति करने लायक रहेंगे, जनता रहने देगी, तब न कृष्ण और अर्जुन की भूमिका निभाएंगे। जनता इनका सुपड़ा साफ कर देगा। ये तमाम भ्रष्टाचारी जो एक जमात बना करके जुटे हैं, राष्ट्रवाद के भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत बनाने के संकल्प को नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विरुद्ध, ये सब साफ हो जाएंगे।
आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद यादव जी खड़ा है, जो अहंकारी
रावण के रूप में, और विजयदशमी का दिन आने जा रहा है। कहीं उसी दिन जनता रूपी राम के द्वारा आपका वध नहीं हो जाए, इसलिए इतना अहंकार उचित नहीं है। और आदरणीय नीतीश कुमार जी, मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़कर निवेदन कर रहा हूं कि थोड़ा अपना ज्ञान चक्षु खोल करके और अंतिम समय में आप अपना ये गति नहीं कराइए कि अब श्री तेजस्वी यादव जी का भी आपको शिष्य बनना पड़े।
Well, with that, it's time for India Front with our editor-in-chief, Rahul Shivshankar.
Thanks indeed, Pranesh. Thanks indeed. Viewers, as always, the biggest story of the day on India Up Front. And this one, viewers, it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that I have to jog your memory back to some unsavory events. It is unfortunate that I have to tell you once again that we witnessed a rerun of the unfortunate stone pelting. Yes, viewers, stone pelting upon the Ram Navami and Hanuman Jayanti processions earlier this year. Over the last 24 hours in Kheda district in Gujarat, Hindus partaking in Garba festivities were attacked with stones. They were pelted upon by members of the other community. A day earlier, children in a government school invited to Garba festivities were without warning suddenly asked rather bizarrely by their teachers to enact a Muharram ritual. The teachers, 4 of them have been suspended, viewers, also belonged to the other community. In both incidents, the state administration has taken quick action against the accused, thereby warding off the possibility of the matter escalating into full-blown violence. We saw that sort of violence pulsate through Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, as I told you earlier this year, even Delhi, viewers, you might recall that. There has been considerable outrage over the last few days over the demand by members of the Hindu community to regulate entry into Garba pandals during Navratri. A large number of organizers have said that they fear that certain individuals with an agenda to polarize the atmosphere are wanting to enter into these pandals, Garba pandals, and do things to provoke. Hindus have underlined the religious significance of the Garba and claim that only those professing belief in the deity should be allowed entry. Many, of course, have called this a lurch towards segregation. After all, why exclude anybody, and especially members of one community? Muslims have also said that excluding them from Garba is another example of marginalizing them. And when I talk about Muslims, viewers, I talk about Muslim groups that champion Muslim interests, a large number of political parties, etc. But today, after the events in Kheda, many Hindu groups have come forward to say that the targeting of Garba vindicates their decision. A large number of these Hindu groups who were being criticized are now asking rhetorically, those that have no regard for the Hindu faith, then can they really press forth the right to attend the Garba? But viewers, before we get into asking deeper questions and throwing this open for debate, let's hear from the police about the attack on Garba festivities in Kheda district. Listen to the police's version.
उसी फंक्शन के दौरान यहाँ जो मस्जिद है, मस्जिद के सामने कुछ मुस्लिम लोगों का मॉब इकट्ठा हो गया और उन्होंने इस जो गरबा कार्यक्रम है उसके अंदर बाधा डालने की कोशिश की और बाद में पथराव किया और उसी की वजह से 6-7 लोगों को इंजरी हुई है.
Now, viewers, that's the official version put out by the Kheda police. And of course, as I told you, arrests have been affected. Several individuals have been arrested. I'm not going to name them here. The list is too long. But viewers, all of this is corroborated by a large number of witnesses. Now listen to some of the witnesses.
हम लोग यहाँ पर गरबा रम रहे थे ना, खेल रहे थे ना, तब यहाँ से पत्थर न चालू थी गया था मारने का। इसमें यहाँ सभी को चोट लगी है थोड़ी थोड़ी।
अच्छा, क्यों, क्या हुआ था, क्यों, किसने पत्थरबाजी की?
लोग मुसलमान लोगों ने।
हाँ, हम जब भी हमारे भागवत जाते हैं तभी ये लोग हल्ला मचाते हैं, हमें ऐसा पसंद नहीं है।
अचानक उन्हें वहाँ गरबा 2-3 राउंड हुआ। हाँ। वो लोग वहाँ पहले से ही जमा हो गए थे। अच्छा। तो 2-3 आदमी ने बोला तुम यहाँ से जाओ, लेकिन वो गए उधर, फिर वहाँ से सीधा पत्थर चालू कर दिया।
डर गए थे हम, सब लोग भाग गए। हम जब गरबे घूम रहे थे सब लोग भाग गए। इधर से पत्थर आए, इधर से आए, सब जगह थे, इधर से सब जगह से पत्थर वो लोग मार रहे थे।
Now viewers, a few days before this, as I told you, the students in a play center school were suddenly seen on video beating their chests, as is usually seen during Muharram processions, in the same manner. And there you can see some of those visuals. They had been invited, as you know, viewers, for a Garba dance, but suddenly asked to perform this Muharram ritual. The DJ played Muharram tunes at what was supposed to be a Garba function organized at the school. 4 teachers have now been suspended after their parents, the children's parents, took out protests and other Hindu groups joined, alleging the children were forced to do so. And this was a deliberate attempt to mock the Garba festivities. Let's just boost the audio a little bit to get a sense of the nat sounds on this. There you can hear, viewers, the music. This is certainly not the kind of dance that signifies Garba festivities. Now listen in, viewers, to some bites of the Kheda district primary education officer. Our reporter went there and personally verified this story. Listen in.
तो ये सारा वीडियो जब प्रकाश में आया तो तत्कालीन रूप से हमने इस शाला की आज सुबह से छानबीन तहकीकात शुरू कर दी है और इसके परिणाम स्वरूप फिलहाल तो जो कसूरवार 4 महिला टीचर लोग हैं उनको फर्ज मौकूफ किया गया है.
Viewers, taken together these incidents, and there has been another one that happened also, viewers, in another part of Gujarat. In fact, that happened in Vadodara, where 40 have been arrested after violent clashes between members of 2 communities over a religious flag. A religious flag was suddenly planted, allegedly, in Savli town in Gujarat's Vadodara. And this flag was put up on an electricity pole in Dhamiji Ka Dera locality. This was told to us, viewers, by the Savli police station officials. And this was a flag that was put out by members of the minority community, and that led to some very grievous clashes in Vadodara also, where the situation remains quite tense. All of this, of course, happening at a time when one particular community, the majority community, is performing its festivities, its functions. And therefore, viewers, taken together, these incidents prompt many questions. I said, the principle being, can those that have no regard for the Hindu faith, then can they really press forth the right to attend the Garba, to suggest that they are in favor of harmony, etc.? And this, viewers, is by no means an advocacy of other disturbing events that have happened on the sidelines of Garba festivities where, of course, those that managed to come in, Muslim youth, were beaten. So there is very clearly no invitation or invocation to violence, and that cannot be in any way underwritten. But viewers, it does raise questions. It does raise questions. And let's ask some of these questions. Let's open this up. I want to bring in Lokesh Jindal, a political analyst allied to the Congress party, Danish Qureshi, another political analyst who's sympathetic towards the MIM, Advocate Tala Rashidi, spokesperson of the Rashtriya Ulema Council. There's Dr. Anand Ranganathan, needs no introduction, Advaita Kala, an author who also is very, very well known and very well appreciated. So let me first go across to Lokesh Jindal. Mr. Jindal, let me remind you, the number of occasions you have cried foul upon the BJP and alleged the ruling party was indulging in Hindutva hate. The Congress has routinely come out and taken that position. You yourself on this show have taken this position. Now, can you then deny that your selective criticism is an attempt to propagate perhaps a narrative that paints the Hindu community in a negative light, over and beyond what might have actually transpired or what is actually transpiring? It's a simple question to you.
Rahul, the question that you have asked is that when Congress party condemns the narrative of the BJP that it's always a particular minority community which is Hindu-phobic, at that point of time it is putting forward its own narrative. That's what you have asked, right?
No.
Now,
no, 1 second. I have not asked that. I have only said that it appears, and you know, we are talking now with the benefit of some hindsight. Ram Navami and Hanuman Jayanti celebrations across several states, including Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Karnataka, Andhra, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand and Goa. There were attacks, you know, on a large number of Hindu processionists. Some of those were unprovoked attacks, but a lobby and ecosystem blamed the Hindus for those attacks. You said that, well, the problem is that Hindus then are going through sort of Muslim neighborhoods. I don't know what that even means, but nonetheless, as if there are some no-go zones, but nonetheless, go through places where Muslims are living, etc., and that by itself is a provocation. So the Hindus then decide that, look, they're going to completely restrict themselves. They're going to ensure that what they do, at least in some quarters, and you have now found that out when it comes to the Garba festivities, they will stay within their own bounds of their own community. They will not fraternize, so that there is no tension. That is also criticized. So there is a deliberate sort of attempt to paint, as I said, the Hindu community as the aggressor, as the oppressor, as always the provocateur. But here, unfortunately, the facts are now speaking for themselves. That's what I was asking you, Mr. Jindal.
Sir, when we are talking about festivals, festivities, they are social occasions where the society, the community indulges into a form of a gathering and it celebrates. It incorporates tradition as well as a spirit of brotherhood. Garba itself is a folk dance. So all the people belonging to the community come together and they dance and it's a form of a social gathering. Now, when such social issues are also communalized because of a political narration, which says that no, in this social occasion, this belongs to Muslims, this belongs to Hindus. This particular social occasion belongs to this particular community,
Mr. Jindal,
so others are being barred.
Okay.
So what happens is there is some form of a
segregation, apartheid.
There is some form of apartheid that is being done, and the two social communities are kept apart.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Lokesh Jindal, are you saying that the Garba is some sort of bloc party, some massive, bloc party? It has no religious.
Traditional. No. I didn't say this. If you
said it's only a social gathering.
No. It's a folk dance which has been celebrated by communities belonging to all faiths together.
It has no
Yes,
religious
it's a folk
underpinning.
dance.
It's a folk
No,
dance. It's a
has
cultural.
a religious belief.
Okay.
No. It has a religious belief.
Okay.
It signifies the female divinity.
So there
and
I'm
it is
asking you. So if someone doesn't respect the tradition of Navratras, if there is stone pelting on the Garba itself, which is a celebration of a very important deity, then why should the members of that community automatically think that they're entitled to be invited and should be a part of these festivities? That's the question.
Now, the point is, traditionally, there was no form of a segregation for this particular form of a festival. So, since traditionally, if you talk about Gujarat also, there are sizable number of Muslims living over there, the Bohras and others, and they have been coming and attending the Garba festival, dancing together as a community, celebrating it, and there has been a spirit of brotherhood prevailing. But now when there is a political narrative that is being propagated into the society, that Moram is to Muslims and Garba is to Hindus, and moreover both are antithetical to each other, a form of a competition develops that, okay, who carries out a bigger procession, who is able to have a greater form of assertion in this particular form. This form of a comparison and a social competition causes social tensions, and this is being politicized in order to benefit a political party.
Okay.
That is what is causing all forms of tensions in the present scenario.
Okay. So let me expand this. Dr. Ranganathan, you heard an expansive response from Lokesh Jindal where we tried to get a sense of what he was trying to say. What do you make of this? The Hindu groups are saying, look, we are not here trying to advocate segregation. All we want to do is to separate the believers from those who just want to attend these events to have a party. This is not a party, and we as a group, as a religion, have the right to restrict entry to only those who actually feel something for this.
Good evening, Rahul. You know, it all depends on how honest we are in accepting the truths. There are essentially two issues here. First of all, I totally condemn this abhorrent stone pelting on the Garba celebrations. It's absolutely dastardly, and I'm happy that the criminals have been punished. But they should be punished according to the law. I'll come to that in a minute. But one on the stone pelting itself. You know, first it was Ram Navami processions, then Durga processions that Swati, a journalist, has been meticulously cataloguing, and now Garba. We have to accept that all around us, all we see are Darawa Musalmans, Rahul. From Jammu, where Darawa Musalmans are shouting from top of mosque that they will behead Nupur Tiwari and all those who oppose Azan and Hijab, to Hubli, where Darawa Musalmans are pouring onto the streets because some Hindu kid photoshopped a Bhagwa flag. From Mumbai, where Darawa Musalmans are gathering in their tens of thousands for the funeral of a terrorist, Yaqub Memon. To Srinagar, where Darawa Musalmans are collecting for the funeral of terrorist Burhan Wani. From Aurangabad, where Darawa Musalmans are rioting in the streets because someone Facebook post said Aurangzeb was a mass murderer. To Assam, where Darawa Musalmans are burning down a police station. Everywhere you look, we see our Darawa Musalmans. Only the Hindus are fearless. As I said, I condemn this stone pelting incident on Garba by Muslims. That said, I also condemn the public thrashing of the perpetrators by the police. We are not an Islamic country, last I checked, dispensing Sharia justice. The policemen who beat the criminals like that should be taken to task. Now on the second issue, Rahul, very briefly. On the restrictions that you mentioned on Muslims being allowed for Garba. Look, Hinduism is an open forum, a way of religion, a way of life more than a religion, welcoming all. And besides, as an atheist, or the Charvas, you can say, I have no issues. The more the merrier, according to me. But let me dissect this further. Number one, if you consider this a religious issue, Garba celebrates the womb, or Garbha. Hindus dance around a clay lamp, Garbhadeep, symbolizing the divine womb incarnate in a body. Muslims expressly forbidden to worship anyone other than Allah. And Waris Pathan knows about this. He had to publicly apologize for chanting Ganpati Bappa Boria. They are forbidden, 4062, 1722, 1240, 364, 555. But still, I say they are welcome to worship Ma Durga, Aditi and her womb. Number two, Will you accept what Islam says about non-Muslims? No one has the right to be worshipped but Allah. 4062. Those who deny the Quran, their necks will be shackled. 4070. Polytheists, Hindus are the worst of creatures. Abhi unke garba mein jana chahte ho aap 98-6. Fight against those who do not believe in Allah and who do not adopt Islam. Fight them until they give the jizya while they are humble. 929. Do not marry the polytheist Hindu women unless they convert. 221. Those who disbelieve in our worship, we will drive them into fire. 456. Finally, 3. If you consider Garba as a celebration, then I want to ask, how many mosques organize a Garba? How many? Out of tens of thousands of events that take place on Garba, how many are taking place in a mosque? Also, I want to celebrate science and I want to visit the Kaaba and inspect what is embedded in its eastern wall, the wondrous black stone, a meteorite fragment that once floated on water like pumice. But I am not allowed to, as I am not a Muslim. Neither is my geologist friend. I am disappointed. But should I hate Muslims for not allowing me to celebrate science? No.
Condemnable and unacceptable. Please tell him to talk on the topic, and he should stick to the topic instead of talking about Quran and showing his expertise
on Quran.
Who is this
new anchor who has joined Times Now, Rahul?
Please stop. Please stop.
Who is this new anchor?
As per your understanding and as per your own narrative and agenda.
No, Mr. Rashidi.
Quran. Quran is for everyone. For Muslims like you and non-believers like me. Are you preventing me from quoting the Quran? Are you preventing, as a Muslim, are you preventing me from quoting the Quran? Danish साहब हैं, दानिश साहब से पूछिए क्या मैं कुरान को कोट नहीं कर सकता? इतना डर क्यों, इतना कांप काहे रहे हो? इतना कांपो मत. I am just quoting the Quran.
Okay, one at a time, please. Gentlemen, one at a time. Okay, one second.
Tell us to leave the debate.
Just one second. Mr. Rashidi.
Please tell him to stick to the topic of the debate.
Mr. Rashidi, 1 second. 1 minute, gentlemen. I'll have to lower everyone's faders here.
I simply cannot say.
Please. Rashidi Saab, please, calm down. You can respond at length. I have not stopped you from responding, but let's not shout and scream and try to play the victim card constantly here, please. This will not be accepted. Every time you come on the show, you have not... No, 1 second. Did you begin by condemning... Did you begin by condemning the stone pelting in Kheda?
Your religious books.
Have you... No one is interpreting anything, sir. He's quoting in his own...
This is the scare. They don't want these verses to be made public.
No, 1 second. Let me just step in and lower everyone's faders. No, 1 second. Mr. Rashidi, I'll have to lower your fader and I'm doing so. If you're going to constantly shout, there is a way of responding. Please respond like Danish Qureshi will. He will be reasonable and he will give his points. Danish Qureshi, you said you wanted to respond to Dr. Ranganathan. Please respond. 1 minute, doctor.
I was interrupted.
1 second. Yes, that's fine. Let Danish Qureshi respond now. Yes, Mr. Qureshi, go ahead. You want to respond to Dr. Ranganathan? You raised your hand. I'll come to you. Mr. Rashidi will just keep otherwise shouting and eating up everyone's time. And I don't want to get into this kind of shouting match. Yes.
First of all, I condemn the incident which took place in Kheda. Stone should not be pelted in any festival of any religion or any community. Second thing, Anand said. Anand भाई आप कह रहे थे कि क्या मैं कुरान कोट नहीं कर सकता? बिल्कुल आप कर सकते हैं. लेकिन सवाल ये है कि आज जो खेड़ा की जो घटना घटी है, इसमें मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि गुजरात के अंदर में बहुत सारी कम्युनिटीज अलग अलग रहती हैं, जिसमें मोरे सलाम गुरासिया कम्युनिटी रहती है, जिनको आप नाम से पहचान भी नहीं पाएंगे. उनके नाम आपको आनंद, रंजीत ऐसे भी मिल जाएंगे. उनके यहाँ शादियों के फंक्शन में आपको गणेश बैठाए हुए मिल जाएंगे. उनके यहाँ शादियों के फंक्शन में उनके इंटरनल फैमिली के लोगों को गरबा करते हुए मिल जाएगा, जो बाय रिलीजन मुसलमान है. आनंद भाई, ये मैं आपके नॉलेज के लिए बता दूं. सेकेंड थिंग, हम बात करते हैं, गुजरात के अंदर में कॉस्मोपॉलिटन कल्चर बरसों से रहा है. लेकिन मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूं कि ताकि सारे व्यूअर्स अच्छे से समझ लें. हिंदी में मैं इसलिए बात कर रहा हूं. कुछ दिन पहले अहमदाबाद
No, one second. Mr. Qureshi,
one second. Complete, Rahul, let me allow to complete.
No, 1 second. Mr. Qureshi, please, 1 second. Look, while I respect your decision to speak in Hindi, this is also an English news channel, right? I don't want my viewers in the south to feel aggrieved. There are viewers in the northeast. Please speak in a language that is widely understood. Please, Mr. Qureshi. I don't want anyone to say that this channel gives primacy to one language over any other. So you have come to an English news channel. Let's speak in the language that this channel broadcasts in. And you are very competent, sir. You have been right next to me and you can speak very well. And we should not assume that from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, everyone understands Hindi. Even my Hindi is not great. I come from a mixed family. I'm half Kannadiga and half Kashmiri. So let me also play my victim card, please. And let's not get completely subjugated by this, Hindi push. Please. Thank you very much. थोड़ा आप अंग्रेजी में अगर मैं आपसे कुछ दरख्वास्त कर सकूं, can you please speak in English also for my viewers? They also need to know. Please go ahead, Mr. Qureshi. Thank you.
Now second thing. Now second thing. An incident took place in Ahmedabad Karnavati Club. This club is very well known for the commercialization of every program which can be converted into a profit. And in a number of cases we saw in different clubs of Ahmedabad that commercial events are being competed, and each and every community or those who want to go in that event can go over there. And the members of Bajrang Dal and VHP became a super police and attacked on those people, those who are by religion. The youth was by religion Muslim. Why they have been targeted? Nobody knows. Why police didn't register FIR till today on the basis that why did Bajrang Dal and VHP members become a super police?
One second, Mr. Qureshi, first things first. One second. Now you have made a point. Now let me come in. Mr. Qureshi, first things first. The point we all began with is that there is no space for vigilante justice on any side. Please understand. But, viewers, the Constitution, and I listed a few points yesterday, you must have heard. You see, viewers, this is becoming almost cyclical now, and therefore this issue needs to be addressed. There are sensitivities. Yesterday I had said how the law, how the law. Mr. Rashdi, please stop it. Please, I hate hecklers and I will have to lower your fader. Please, these are very sensitive issues. You want to push a narrative here, go to another channel and do it, sir. Don't waste my time. Don't waste. I'm lowering his fader. Please, Nizam bhai, lower his fader. This is not right. I don't want people to spread poison on debates. This is just not right. The man hasn't brought himself to condemn an act of violence. We are all here sitting and condemning all sorts of violence, vigilante violence from this side or that side or the police side or whichever side. We've even asked for justice, arrests of those people who went and beat up a few Muslim youth. So there is no excuse for violence. But there is space for conversation, debate. And you cannot sock Dr. Ranganathan in the face, metaphorically, for quoting something. At least Danish Qureshi is mature enough to recognize this.
And can I applaud him, please?
No, 1 second, just 30 seconds. I just want to come back to this point. It's very important, and Dr. Ms. Kala is also here with us. It's very important to open this up and really go into the nuts and bolts. Viewers, there are certain groups, it doesn't matter whether we all agree with them or not, who are invoking their constitutional right under Article 25 to say that in certain functions that we hold dear to our religion, religious functions, we are allowed to restrict entry. If we think that a particular individual respects our traditions and customs, like Danish Qureshi has mentioned, certain Gujarati Muslims who do, please, they are welcome. But those who want to come and see a numaish are not to be welcomed. That is what Mr. Hassan said a couple of days ago. Why put on this numaish? If you have that view of this particular custom, we don't want you, thank you very much. And nothing in the Constitution, viewers, the Constitution, the country, the government might have a secular outlook, but I, you, anyone else is not obliged to be secular. So remember this.
No, you're wrong, Rahul.
No. 1 second. We're not obliged to be secular. We can, in the defense of our religion, in our religious practice, go out and call upon the state to respect our religious customs as we want to practice them. That right is given. As long as I am not in any way hurting, harming, inciting against any other community, I'm okay. I can go to my temple. I don't have to visit a mosque and a church and this and that and the other just to prove I'm secular. I can only go night after night, day after day to my temple. And I won't be called communal. So let nobody, viewers, confuse you with this goobly-dook. Now I want to bring in both Dr. Ranganathan and Advaita Kala. Dr. Ranganathan, you wanted to make a point. Yes.
Yes, very, very briefly. First of all, as you've seen yourself, I really applaud Danish Bhai for having a very cogent argument, and this is the way debate should be conducted.
Yes.
And I respect Danish Bhai very much. You know, he lost on a debate once with me, and he immediately rang me up and said, "मैं आपको Mysore Pak भिजवाना चाहता हूँ." वो अलग बात है कि sugar free नहीं भिज पाए तो मैं ले नहीं पाया, but I really respect him as a gentleman. But Danish Bhai, ये बात भी सच है जो मैंने कही है. मैं सिर्फ कोट करता हूँ और मैं आपको ये मैंने ऑलरेडी कहा है.
In English, Dr. Ranganathan, in English.
Yes, as I've already explained, Danish Bhai, and you would have probably heard, I said there are two issues. And on the first issue was, I have no problems in Muslims attending a Hindu festival. But the fact remains, as I gave the example of Waris Pathan as well, he had to apologize because it is expressly forbidden in Islam. Allah forbids. I gave you the Quranic verses without interpreting them, 40, 62, 17, 22, 12, 40. And I asked you another question, which I want you to answer. If you consider this as a celebration, then can you please tell me that I want to celebrate science and visit the Kaaba and inspect the eastern wall, the wondrous black stone? Can I do it? I can't. Do I hate Muslims that they don't allow me to do it? No, I don't hate them. But I want you, through you, to say that Anand should be allowed to visit Kaaba to celebrate science. Please, can you do that for me, Danish Saab?
But no one is going to mob lynch you. No one is going to lynch you.
We are not talking about mob lynching, sir. Please. Why are you dragging this in? No, please lower his fader. He didn't ask the question of
Rahul,
Mr.
shall I
Rushdie.
reply to Anand?
Yes, please respond, Mr. Qureshi.
Rahul, shall I reply?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Anand, your question and your ambition to visit Kaaba, which is good. But remember one thing: Saudi Arabia had its own laws, which is follow the Islamic according to the Sharia, and that's why they have restricted. And we cannot make a change in their law. But if you want, yes, we can recommend for you if they allowed, if they can. If they not, we cannot do anything. But we live in India, and what the things are, I want to explain you that we live in India where the secularism is the core backbone of our country. And problem is the people, those who want to segregate the community in the name of religion, they are making a problem. This is not first time in Kheda that Garba has been held in a place where the stone pelting is banned. Number of times, and from decades to decades this procession is being going on, the program of Garba has been going on, and no issues and no riots has been noted till last day and last night. But the problem, those who want to use to politicize
are you suggesting that the
incident for the political tool?
So are you, one second. Are you then therefore trying to suggest that the Hindus deserve to be pelted with stones? Please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Qureshi. And also tell me, why was Waris Pathan? Then also tell me, why did Waris Pathan have to apologize for chanting Ganpati Bappa Moria? Can you explain this? It's on record.
Rahul, you can get the answer from Waris Bhai. I cannot give answer on behalf of them. Right. Why he has apologized or why not?
You see,
only he can give the answer.
That becomes inconvenient. It's a difficult question to answer in the current context. Miss Kala, let me bring in Miss Kala. What do you make of Mr. Qureshi's response?
Rahul.
Yes, sir.
Rahul.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Qureshi. Yes. You were saying something to me. Please tell me.
I think he's frozen.
No, I was saying that only, that can I become an anchor as you were, as you?
No, I didn't understand. Anyhow, I don't know what that conversation is. Let me just bring in Miss Kala. Miss Kala, go ahead.
I think the simple question is, I as an Indian, as a woman, can I go to a mosque in this country with the law here and pray? I know the answer to that. I can't. It's permitted in areas in the Middle East. It isn't over here. There is a...
No. You are wrong, Mr. Kala. You are wrong. You can.
I can? Okay. I was led to believe that you can't. And in fact,
you can't.
There is activism. Yes. Go ahead, Anand. You wanted to come in. But
Yeah,
you know what?
No, I'm just saying you're right. Advaita, you are right. In fact, there was a petition. After the Sabrimala judgment, there was the High Court of Kerala was petitioned, and it threw out this petition. So Muslim women cannot enter the sanctum sanctorum of mosques. It's a fact.
Correct. Okay, so now I just want to understand one thing. You know, I think Rahul made a very profound point, which is the state can be secular. The individual it's not incumbent on the individual to be secular. Now, I just want to know, I mean, are there no discotheques in Gujarat? I haven't been there in a while, and I'm past the age of discotheques. But certainly, I mean, if people want to go and dance and listen to music and have a good time, pay a cover charge and go. Why do you have to go to a religious festival which circulates around the feminine divine, which is meant to honor the feminine divine, something that we have heard over and over again, that we don't want to say Bharat Mata Ki Jai because it manifests into the feminine divine, and that is not in agreement with the monotheism of our faith. These are the kind of debates we've had going on ad verbatim. Not to mention the Ram Navami attacks that took place this year across 5 states. Now, when these things are happening, we'd all like to live together. We'd all like Kumbaya. We would all like to go to each other's festivals. That would be wonderful. But please acknowledge the fact that the Hindu community may be greater in number, but has seen occasion where it has been attacked during its festivals. And why Navratri should be any different is something I think that the Muslim community needs to convince the Hindu community of, not continue to pelt stones and build on that same narrative.
Well, viewers,
so you cannot always expect from the Hindu community.
Okay, I will reply to. Okay, 1 second. I just want to bring on record a few facts here. The All India Muslim Personal Board has told the Supreme Court, and I'm quoting out of a report from the Times Group on January 30, 2020. This is Dhananjay Mahapatra, who's one of leading legal correspondents. This is what they said. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board told the Supreme Court on Tuesday that Muslim women are free to enter a mosque to offer prayers. But since Islam has not made it obligatory for women, very important, since Islam has not made it obligatory for women to join congregational prayer, the court cannot enter the religious arena to decide this issue. So it has been left to the discretion. And there is something that Dr. Ranganathan is also holding up. Supreme Court dismisses PIL to allow Muslim women into mosques. That's very clear. This is exactly what was said, and therefore this petition was thrown out, because the AIMPLB said that you are nobody to go out and in any way decide on this issue. So viewers, again, it is left to the congregational head, etc., to decide. It is not an obligation. Very clearly, it's not an obligation. It is not obligatory for women to join congregational prayers. So that is where the legal situation. Now viewers, the fact is, and I'm trying to tell you this, the fact is that it's very important to build community ties. And the only way it can be done, is by completely abjuring violence and stepping forth and respecting each other's traditions. Till that confidence level, till we don't have the confidence that we each respect each other's traditions, there can be no closing of this gap. If people like Varis Pathan, who in the spirit of brotherhood chant Ganpati Bapa Moria, are caught by the scruff of their neck, metaphorically, viewers, and made to apologize, Rahul, then this gap will not close. This gap will not close. If 1 second, sir, I have now moved on from this debate. I think we've all said our piece. The most important thing is to maintain peace. P-E-A-C-E. And that is the first provision of building interfaith relations. Let's not always target and then say, bhai, ye to we can rationalize because one side is politicizing, the other side is polarizing, the other third side is pelting. That can't happen. We all have to speak in one voice to condemn religious violence on both sides. Till that doesn't happen, we will not be able to build interfaith relations. And that's fundamentally where we are. And people who want to profess their faith in a manner that they think right and they think is sanctioned by their deities, etc., we should leave them to do it. We can't start name calling them. If you start name calling them, then that principle also has to be applied equally. You can't have one bunch being held up as some sort of equalists and the other bunch as communalists. It just doesn't work, viewers. We have to rise above our own group interests here. I need to move on. I need to move on. Viewers, there is another big controversy, and this controversy is over a movie called Adipurush. It hasn't been released, but on the basis of a teaser or a trailer that was put out, many people are beginning to question whether it actually represents mythological figures in the right avatar, in the right light. The film is an adaptation of the Indian epic Ramayana. It's an adaptation. We don't still know whether it is an exact retelling. And this has grabbed the eyeballs when it comes to a depiction of certain characters, including Ravan, played by Saif Ali Khan. From his beard to his hairdo to the giant monster bat he can be seen riding. Critics have gone ahead to the extent of comparing him to Mughal Emperor Alauddin Khilji. From outrage on social media, the makers of the film have now been warned of legal action if certain scenes deemed objectionable are not removed. Some people, BJP leaders, including other Hindu groups, have said that even Hanuman is wearing a leather vest and that he is not wearing a mukut. That he has a beard, etc. And that means that there is an Islamization of his character. The same is being said about Ravan, who is evolved Brahmin, wearing Janu, etc. It is being said that he looks like Khilji. And now, of course, Madhya Pradesh Home Minister Narottam Mishra has objected to the trailer showing Hanuman wearing a leather vest and other apparel, saying that it is against the description of Hanuman's attire that is mentioned in the scriptures, and that the film must make these corrections because in the current context it poses an insult to Sanatan Dharma. Let's open this up, viewers. Many people are saying that this is really an assault on creativity. That in our country we can imagine things differently. They don't always have to follow some sort of textbook, and therefore we must not take away the license for creativity, because if we do, we will become a monochromatic society stuck in a time warp, and we will become much like those that we don't. So let's ask these questions tonight. I want to first begin with Murtaza Ali Khan, film critic, Mithun Vijay Kumar, Advaita Kala is also there with us, Dr. Ranganathan, all are here. Let me first begin with you, Mr. Murtaza Ali Khan. What do you make of this controversy that has erupted? I agree that the film has not been released, so we don't know. But on the basis of some pictures that have emerged as part of the trailer, many people, especially on the Hindu side of the fence, are finding it contemptuous. Let's put it like that.
See, even as kids, we are taught that never judge a book by its cover, you know, and so this is a very premature assessment that this film is anti-Hindu or the portrayal is, you know, completely, you know, out of place. I personally feel that, you know, the filmmaker Owen Rawat, you know, he has a very good track record, and he's somebody who really is meticulous and puts years and years of research into a film. Like when I talked to him before the release of Tanaji, he told me that he, you know, spent years in order to understand what kind of sword, you know, a Rajput should wield, or what kind of sword a Maratha should wield, which sword should be curved and which should be straight. So he's that kind of person. So when he is doing a research on a film like Adipurush, he's spending at least 3 to 5 years, and he's not just studying the Ramanand Sagar as we all revere it. I know the Ramanand Sagar version of Ramayana is something that I have also grown up watching. It's really, you know, something that we all look up to. But there are so many versions of Ramayana. Ramayana is a very vast subject. So you cannot, you know, pinpoint it that, okay, only the Ramanand Sagar version of Ramayana is something. Arun Govilji is a character who is being related to Lord Rama. But Lord Rama is much bigger than Arun Govil. If we continue to see Arun Govil as Lord Rama, and our coming generations will also continue to see Arun Govil as Lord Rama, then that is not right. We should allow technology, to come in, and if using technology, keeping the sanctity of Ramayana, the beauty of Ramayana and the morals that Lord Rama, stands for, if we can somehow come up with a modernized version, there's nothing wrong in that. And I am at all for CBFC. If there is something that is wrong, something that goes awry, then CBFC can always step in and curtail it, and even not even issue the certificate to the film. But this kind of outrageous behavior that we're gonna sue the filmmaker, we're gonna stop him from releasing the film, that is, I think, in a very bad taste. But it's also reflected of the kind of hyper behavior that we've seen on the social media. Even when Modi came out with that new national emblem, we saw how people overreacted, and later on they realized that it was actually right.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, there is an argument to say, Dr. Ranganathan, then how can we describe what Ravana actually looked like, or we sort of have a conception of it when there are no real pictures of him, etc. So if someone has sort of depicted him in the way that Saif Ali Khan's character sort of is depicted, then what's the problem? Why are we all getting our pants in a twist?
Rahul, if that were the case, then would you be all right, or would Christians be all right with Jesus Christ being depicted as Alauddin Khilji, because no photograph exists of Jesus Christ as well? No. But there are 2 points here, and I'd like to delve into them very briefly. Number one, as a free speech absolutist, my stand. I am never for banning any film, leave alone a book or a animation or any VFX or anything that's been done, because that's not, that is not what a civilized country or a democracy should do. One should have be able to cross all limits. If you disagree with something, then of course there are courts, but I'm not for that as well. I'm a free speech absolutist. Number two, having said that, am I not free to criticize when I see Ravana out here? Now, I'm showing you, this is how Ravana has been depicted, and this is the great NTR, playing the role of Ravana. Now, when I see suddenly Saif looking almost like, pardon me, but Osama bin Laden, then what NTR's depiction of Ravana is, I mean, I'm free to criticize that, and I've done it without saying that it should be boycotted or banned, and I think that's my right to say it. Secondly, there is a refreshing Twitter handle by the name of Gems of Bollywood, started by journalists Swati and an IITian Sanjeev, that has ruthlessly exposed what has been a Hindu-phobic and Hindu-mistic bent of Bollywood since decades. Layered on top is this rampant selectivity, leave alone critiquing Islam. Bollywood hails and reveres it. Look, Hindus are tolerant and accepting of mocking. That's how great reforms have happened in his great religion. Samskara was a well-accepted film, although it was Congress that banned it. But to always selectively highlight Hinduism ills, to always mock only Hinduism, even though it's so-called evil people, displays a mindset of fear and awe of the other religion. That said, I reiterate, Rahul, there are multiple versions of Ramayana. Let this be one other version. That said, I am free to criticize this version, and that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, of course you are free to criticize this version. No one is denying that, Dr. Ranganathan, but there is also a worrying typecasting of what a Muslim ruler must look like. We immediately jump to the conclusion that Khilji must look like this itself. Who knows? Maybe he was a very different looking character, because for us,
he would never put tilak, he would never worship Shivling.
So why should it be that all Muslims need to be bearded? There are large number, even Saif Ali Khan, in his salad days or whatever you want to call him, was a very nice clean shaven man. So he was also as devout a Muslim as he is today or not, I don't know, I can't speak for him, but the fact is, Amir Khan never sported a big fuzzy beard, etc., and didn't wear a cap on his head. So if anything, I mean, if you ask me personally, as a Muslim, I would feel a bit aggrieved that every demon has been typecast, to use your words, like a Khilji. Why should that be the case in this country? So I would think that, perhaps the Muslims have perhaps a greater cause to be worried about here as a sort of typecasting or a stereotyping than the Hindus. Dr.
If I was a Muslim, Rahul, if I was a Muslim, first of all, I gave you the example of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why he is never portrayed as a demonic person? Because people have this image, even if they are images of gods or goddesses or asuras, they have an image. And that is what religion has bestowed on us. We have to accept it. I'm speaking as a Darwinian atheist, by the way. Number two, if I was a Muslim, I would be aggrieved by not being allowed to even draw the Prophet Muhammad or any other Islamic heroes.
You know, that's of course...
I can't even draw it.
That's of course a matter of, again, something that community needs to look into. And
Exactly.
that is, you know, that's an issue that we all know has been tested and tried and is not ended in happy circumstances for those that even attempted to sort of draw a caricature. But what I'm trying to say here, there's a clever attempt at trying to sort of suggest once again that Hindus have been in some ways victimized by this typecasting, and this is like, you know, part of now Bollywood practice. Well, viewers, there is some truth to it, of course, because we are more accepting and tolerant community. But my worry, Advaita Kala, is that all of this also leads to a large number of people coming forth and saying to the film director that if you don't change, then watch the consequences. They give ultimatums. And if we all become so fastidious in some ways and rigid, then we lose the greatness of our own tradition. Remember, you would never have had the great Picasso who showed, for example, one of the most revered figures in Christianity in a very different way. You would not contemplate that figure looking the way she is in the Cubist imagination. So who's to say what really should be, you know, the straight-jacketed view of what X looks like, especially when we haven't seen those people? Ms. Kala.
Absolutely, Anand, and you know, I'm saying Anand, but Rahul, absolutely, you know, it's imagine when Tulsidas wrote Ramcharitramanas. He wrote it in a colloquial kind of dialect, you know, a dialect that is spoken in even today in my Naniyal. Now, the highbrows in that era must have been outraged. I can only imagine they must have said, "How dare he speak in this colloquial language and write this great story, you know, this legend, this history in this language?" So, you know, it's a consequence of the times. We have to accept that there is a new generation. They're going to be reintroduced to the Ramayana. I think that's wonderful. This is a minute and 30 seconds. We can't go crazy over a minute and 30 seconds. I've been on this debate since last evening because I'm also a screenplay writer. Right now, Rahul, on my Twitter handle, there is a fight and an argument going on amongst devout Hindus, presumably, where one is calling the other a Ravan apologist because they have a problem with how Ravan is being depicted. So we are an argumentative country. We are going to argue these points. I think the Lakshman Rekha, and I use this very seriously, is that you shouldn't do something with the intention to offend a faith. Now, looking at this, I don't see that there is any offense meant. Yes, it is a reimagination. Yes, from a creative point of view, I can say it's so derivative. It looks like the Marvel Universe. It looks like Planet of the Apes. It's so boring. It's so been there, done that. But that's a creative response. That isn't necessarily a response saying that I'm offended by it. I just think that you spent your money not very smartly, and you could have really created a world that was more Bharatiya.
Mithun Vijayakar wants to come in. I just want to show you, viewers, this is Sousa's depiction of Christ. You might think it's a splotch of ink on paper, but that's the way he contemplated Christ, and I think we are richer for that great contribution of one of India's geniuses. Now, Mithun Vijaykumar, where do you come in on this?
See, the subject they have chosen here is not some pulp fiction, but an ancient Hindu epic that deeply touches the sentiments of Hindus in this country. Now, when you're trying to recreate Ramayana, it must connect to the elements of the original story is all we are saying. We are not saying that, okay, this must be banned or something. People have come out and said that, okay, this is a teaser, what we see, and the response is only for the teaser and not for the movie. And nobody says that people can't comment on teasers. Teasers can be reviewed. trailers can be reviewed, even movies can be reviewed. What the responses that you see today might change entirely when the movie is released if it is different from what they are showing here. And this might be just a PR activity. So now the problem is we have seen that, okay, Hindu community has been very tolerant and all these creative liberty is always expressed with relation to the Hindu community. You have seen how goddess Kali was represented in a certain way. And the expression of creative freedom, why is it confined only to Hinduism? You see, Om Rawat is a very creative man, and I would love to see him doing creative explorations in the domain of, in the Islamic domain, in the Christian domain, and everywhere. And would he dare to do that? That's the bigger question. He wouldn't dare to do that. That's a fact. Because we have seen what happened to the French teacher when he only showed cartoons to his students. He was beheaded for showing the cartoons of Prophet Muhammad. So when one particular community is being tolerant to all the creative freedom and creative explorations, that community should not be targeted all the time, and their sentiments must be valued, is all that we are saying at this point.
Okay. Well, once again, viewers, the conversation comes down. Dr. Ranganathan, look, we can, okay, Murtaza Ali Khan also raising his hand. We can sort of talk a little bit about the depiction, unfair, of one community over the other. But let's not lose sight of the larger debate that we are having and the larger question that is being posed about artistic license.
Yes, no, absolutely. And can I just reinforce what I said earlier, that I'm all for doing whatever you want to do, representing in whichever way you want to, any religion, any religious figure. And Hinduism have been so open about this. I mean, you look at Natya Shastra. That's why, may I please disagree with my great friend Advaita when she says that you should not mock religion, you should not offend a religion. Does she not support Salman Rushdie then? I support Salman Rushdie. So the fact of the matter is that one should have this freedom. This is what real creative freedom is. The problem, as the previous panelist said, Mithun, lies in hypocrisy. So if you were to just say कि भैया हमें बाकी सारे religion को वो करने से डर लगता है, we will do it only for Hinduism, we apologize, Hindus would be very open. They would say, all right, come to the table, criticize Hinduism, but at least you're not a hypocrite.
Okay, well, viewers, remember that it's quite strange that while there is a raging controversy over the manner in which Ravana has been depicted in a pandal in Bengal, certain people have been booked for depicting a leader of our freedom movement in a way that many people have found offensive. So those people have been booked, and of course the ecosystem will never talk about their creative license. And of course, if I say it, then people will say, of course, we know who you are. Your name is RSS, and therefore you are supporting this and that. So I don't even want to go there. But it's quite sad, viewers. It's quite sad that today we can't even bring ourselves to say that those people had some creative license and they made a pandal in the way they thought it should be. And if you say that, you risk the ire of the ecosystem and God alone knows who else. It's quite sad, viewers. And this is what really concerns me. Because there would be no imagination. There would be no contemplation. There would be no cartoons by R.K. Lakshman. If someone said, no, Nehru only has to be made to look like this, we're done for. Can you imagine? Think about it, viewers. Where would progress be? Where would creativity be? I'll leave it at that.
There was a big song and dance about internet being cut. Okay. Now, if you've reached a stage where you say an internet cut is more dangerous than the loss of human lives, then what can I say? So the fact is, if you look at the whole 370 issue, I mean, it's a fundamental, maybe I should not be looking in your direction. I ask you all to just a very basic point. What was a temporary provision of the Constitution was finally put to rest. This was supposed to be act of majority. Wait. This was supposed to be majoritarian. Now tell me, what was happening in Kashmir was not majoritarian. So, I think the way facts are slanted, things are played up, what is right, what is wrong is confused. This is actually politics at work.
Kashmir situation is often misrepresented or misunderstood in Washington. What is the current understanding of US lawmakers about Kashmir and terrorism there?
If there is a terrorist incident, and it doesn't matter of what faith the person, who's killed. If there are Indian soldiers or Indian policemen who are abducted or killed, if there are people working for the government or citizens going about their business who lose their lives, how often do you hear people talking about it, pronouncing on it?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky and discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
I'm also constrained to respond to one delegation that has chosen yet again to misuse this forum and make false allegations against my country. It is therefore important for me to set the record straight. It is ironic that Pakistan is speaking about the rights of minorities. For a country that has even stopped publishing its data to hide its shameful record, it is amazing that they have even brought up this subject. It has a long history of having committed the gravest violations of minority rights that the world has ever seen. We know that what Pakistan has done to its minorities. It has decimated them.
evening and welcome to the Newshour. I'm Madhav Gopalakrishnan. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the AAP government came to power in Punjab, there's been a significant rise in pro-Khalistan activities in the state. The state government has been watching these events transpire like a mute spectator. In less than a week, there have been several instances where Khalistan agenda was propelled. In Bathinda, pro-Khalistan slogans were written on the walls of Forest Department office, and yet no arrests have been made. As if that was not enough, Sangrur MP Simranjeet Singh Mann openly backed Khalistan and said that holding events under the Khalistan banner wasn't punishable. Now recently, a terror outfit Dal Khalsa, whose founder's presence in Pakistan as exposed by Times Now, organized a pro-Khalistan rally in Punjab's Hoshiarpur under full protection of the Punjab police. And you can see them in those visuals, ladies and gentlemen. It's astonishing to see that despite these anti-India slogans and pro-Khalistan chants that were raised in the rally, even as Bhindranwale was hailed in the rally, the police didn't even blink. Listen in. Let's now listen to what the AAP government in Punjab has said of these provocations. Does the AAP support this? Let's listen.
पंजाब को किसी आग में नहीं झोंकेंगे। पंजाब हम सभी का है, वो वहाँ पे हिंदू, सिख, ईसाई, मुस्लिम कोई भी वहाँ पे रह सकता है, शांति रह सकता है। हम पंजाब में कोई किसी किस्म की
सरकार का क्या स्टैंड क्या उसके अमृतपाल
नहीं, देखो किसी ऐसा कोई भी जो किसी को भड़का नहीं है तो सही नहीं है। तो हम सर कल होशियारपुर में भी दल खालसा में ये नारे लगे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है खालिस्तान रिवाइवल की तरफ चल रहा है। कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ ये नाम की बात है और कुछ नहीं है।
हमें पंजाब के लोगों ने पंजाब की खुशहाली के लिए, पंजाब की तरक्की के लिए चुना। हम पंजाब के लिए काम कर रहे हैं और जो भी आदमी कानून को हाथ में लेगा, पुलिस प्रशासन उस पर कानून अनुसार कार्रवाई करेगा। हमें काम करने में विश्वास है और काम कर रहे हैं।
The opposition in Punjab is fuming. Both the BJP and Congress have hit out at the Mann government and accused the Chief Minister of giving a free run to anti-national elements. Listen in.
ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਜੂਨ ਚ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਆਪਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, there was no ਅਮਰਿਤਪਾਲ and there was no ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਅਮਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਕਿੱਧਰੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਿੱਧਰੋਂ ਜਾਣਗੇ? ਇਹ ਹੁਣੀ ਜੰਮੇ ਨੇ, ਹੁਣੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ, and that is यही गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब को देखना पड़ेगा। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया देखेगी जरूर, लेकिन मैं जैसे मैं बार बार कहना है, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर तो इन्हों का काम है।
खालिस्तान का अगर नारा लगेगा हिंदुस्तान की सरजमीन पर, उसके ऊपर हर भारतीय को, चाहे वो किसी मजहब से हो, किसी धर्म से हो, उसको ऐतराज रहेगा। और मैं ये कह रहा हूं बार बार, ये सरकार की नालायकी है। सरकार होते हुए और कानून होते हुए अगर इस तरीके की बात आजाद भारत में होती है तो बहुत निंदनीय है।
And that now brings me to the legitimate question that we're asking this evening. What explains the state patronage, or is it some kind of deliberate looking away? We'll be debating that, but I guess in just a few seconds. Stay tuned.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the show is Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the BJP. Ramneek Mann is a political analyst joining us. Tushar Gupta is the senior editor of Swarajya magazine. Ravi Srivastava is a political analyst joining us. Akashdeep Muni is also a political analyst. Dr. Piyush Joshi is a political analyst as well, who leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me start first with Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, what's going on? And why is the police just standing as mute spectators at this kind of a pro-Khalistan rally? It's not happening for the first time. This is perhaps the second such rally in less than a month that is being carried out in various cities of Punjab. The question then is, why are police even standing by over there and providing security to such elements who are talking about seceding from India?
Madhav, first of all, Mann government has taken over just 6 months before, and such rallies, such celebration of Sant Bhindranwale have been going on for last 40 years. Congress was there, BJP Akali was there, all were there. So what is new about it? Now today, you have got a member parliament, honorably elected from Mansa, with so many votes, some lakhs of votes, and he is openly supporting on the channel. He says that taking any name about the Khalistan, writing any article, taking out any rally, any such thing is permitted by the Supreme Court. So where is the law and order in this? Now my issue here is that this is something anti-national. This is against the security of the nation. So what the role of the state police in that? They sought a
Sir, state police is providing security, so people, they're standing there, just standing by, providing security cover. I mean, is that what we expect the state government to do? Which is why many are raising a question, because in the past, even before the AAP government was elected, there were allegations of links between various extremist elements, pro-Khalistan elements, and now with these repeated incidents taking place on ground, Mr. Srivastav, there are some very serious questions which the AAP government has to answer. You can't just blame it on the central government saying that these are national security issues. If the state police is seen in this footage, questions will be asked of the AAP government.
Madhav, Khalistan is imaginary, it's fiction, hypothetical, it does not exist anywhere. Let them make as many slogans they want to make. The issue here is that if either way, if the police does not support and protect the people, then tomorrow some untoward incident happens, you will say, where was the police?
Okay.
You have seen already Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, all Ram Navami processions are taken out with permission, and what ultimately happens?
Okay.
You only come on the
I'll explain to our viewers and to you, Mr. Ravi Srivastava, what the danger of this kind of thought is. And I'll explain that, why these elements are being emboldened. I'm going to come to that. But for the moment, I want to go across to Sanju Verma, because Sanju Verma, when I asked Mr. Ravi Srivastava the role of the state government, he's pointing towards the center. He says these are matters of national security, and thereby he's implying that it is the center that has to take action and take note of such issues. Your response to that?
You know, Madhav, let me be very clear that the Modi government has dealt with Khalistani hardliners in a very, strong and firm manner, and I say that for a reason. If you recall, after the amendment to UAPA in 2019, the first decision that the Modi government took was to actually declare Sikhs for Justice, a hardline Khalistani organization headed by Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, as a terror outfit. Gurpatwant Singh Pannu was designated as a terrorist, and so was his accomplice Hardeep Singh Nijjar. So to say that the central government has done nothing is a lot of hogwash. In fact, in August 2020, within a few months of amending the UAPA, the central government under section 42 of the UAPA gave powers to state governments, specifically 8 state governments which have seen a lot of hardline Khalistani presence, that they can deal with these hardliners on their own without having to wait for a green signal from the Modi government. And I repeat, this was done in August 2020, more than 2 years back. So the state governments have been given ample leeway and latitude to deal with hardline elements. And I just want to say one thing. You know, I saw on your show in the introduction, you had the transport minister from Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, you had the health minister from Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, but you did not have the key person responsible for maintaining law and order in Punjab, and that is the Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann, who's not only the Chief Minister but also has the dual responsibility of being the Home and Justice Department Minister too. So I want to ask through your channel, Mr. Bhagwant Singh Mann, in his capacity as the Chief Minister, in his extended capacity as the Home Minister, in his more extended capacity as the Justice Minister also, what are the few steps that he has taken or his establishment has taken
That's
to
a fair question.
hardliners?
That's a fair question. What is Bhagwant Mann doing? What is Bhagwant Mann doing, Ravi Srivastava? I think that's a very fair question at this point of time. If he has charge of the Home Department, he should be coming out and speaking. He should be condemning them unequivocally.
I want to tell the BJP spokesperson, if such all incidents are taken up, like this, that the chief minister is responsible, the UP chief minister Adipurush will be standing in a box every day.
The debate is not on Uttar Pradesh. You are a hate-mongering AAP sympathizer who loves to deflect. The debate today is on Khalistani hardline elements in Punjab. We are not debating Yogi Adityanath. The Modi government banned
Mr. Ravi Srivastava. Mr. Ravi Srivastava. Mr. Ravi Srivastava. 1 second. Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, let's stick to let's not trivialize this debate today for a simple reason. There are issues in Uttar Pradesh. Nobody is denying that, and there are very important burning issues that have to be discussed from that state, and we have done so in the past. But my simple question to you, sir, at this point of time is this: we are discussing Khalistan. Punjab, as we all know, is a sensitive border state. We have seen how Captain Amrinder Singh in the past has very often said and worked with government who even he did not agree with ideologically, saying that there are much serious issues of national security that need to be discussed. We know what Pakistan's mentality is. We all know the attempts that have been made in the past, not just in Punjab but in other states such as Jammu and Kashmir as well. But what my simple question to you at this point of time is that shouldn't the state government come out and give out a very clear message? Because what's happening today is that this gentleman of Dal Khalsa, Gajinder Singh, you know what his background is, sir? Amongst other great achievements of his is hijacking a plane in 1981. Such kind of a person is giving a protection and a free run. What's the message that this sends out, Ravi Srivastava? Does it not equal legitimizing this individual, Gajinder Singh?
No, nobody can take the law into his hands. The person who is anybody is responsible will be brought to book. But issue here is that rally was peaceful. There were no untoward incidents. There were no violence. Other than that, the
Khalistan Zindabad, Hindustan Murdabad slogans were rampant during the rally. Are you saying Hindustan Murdabad and Khalistan Zindabad slogans are legitimate? Are you giving legitimacy to Khalistani hardliners?
Ravi Srivastava, I have a simple question. A simple question. One second, Sajur. Ravi Srivastava, simple question to you, sir. Simple question to you. Let me just ask you 1 second. Just give me 5 seconds. You agree with this slogan, Punjab Banega Khalistan? Is that a slogan that you can live with?
And Hindustan Murdabad.
Do you feel the persons who chanted that slogan should not be met with the long arm of the law?
It's a dictionary, it's imaginary, it does not have any value at all. Because there is no Khalistan.
Sir, what is the precedent we are setting over here? Anyone tomorrow wants to start a separatist movement in their own state will now say that it's allowed in Punjab, it can be allowed in any part of the country. What's exactly the message that is going out? That you can chant any kind of provocative slogan and you'll go unpunished.
They say anybody can say there is no problem. The court has said it. So this is not a...
Okay, there's legal sanction to this. Sanju Verma, there's legal sanction. Courts have ruled on this. Please respond to that. That's the argument coming from Ravi Srivastava. That's the argument coming from Simranjit Singh Mann as well.
I refuse to debate if you can't rein Ravi Srivastava. He's been ranting on and on.
I've been asking him questions. Now I'm giving you the floor. Please respond to him.
I will respond. All I told you was that I don't wish to be heckled. And I think that's a fair expectation. Thank you. Let me be very clear that the Modi government on 2nd October, why did it ban a YouTube video? Do you know what was there on the YouTube video? And the Bhagwat Singh Mann regime was fully aware of the content of that YouTube video but did nothing to punish the abettors of Hindustan Murdabad slogans. The video clearly says that on the 6th of November 2022, Seeks for Justice Foundation is going to organize a Punjab referendum rally, and it is asking its brothers and sisters in Punjab to participate in this Punjab referendum rally. I want to ask Mr. Ravi Srivastava, when the video was there in the possession of Bhagwant Mann and his accomplices, what did they do to bring the culprits to book?
Okay.
Babbar Khalsa International Chief has also said
let me open this out. There are such sensitive videos on, what are very clearly, secessionist thoughts that are being expounded. Akashdeep Muni, my simple question to you is this, that what happens and what action is the government taking? Because, lack of action on such elements is also a message that is being sent out of patronage, particularly when there's police presence at such rallies.
Madhav, one thing. फर्स्ट ना खालिस्तान कल बना था पंजाब कल बना था खालिस्तान ना आज बनेगा ना कल बनेगा First, let us be clear. Second,
तो रैली क्यों करने दे रहे हो सर?
नहीं मैं बता रहा हूँ,
रैली क्यों होने दे रहे हैं सर?
I'll tell you all the answers. First and foremost, Sanju Verma ji YouTube video तो देख लेती हैं, but they have not gone through the actions of police force of Punjab. Punjab police force today itself killed got an operative of Khalistan terror group.
You are hallucinating.
DJTV. No, I'm not hallucinating. Kindly go and check the Twitter handle of DJTV police. No. Wait. You, Sanju Verma ji, now let me speak. Now while I am speaking, now you are. Don't be an anarchist. Don't be an anarchist.
Let Akash make his point. Yes, Akash, no personal comments. Let's stick to the subject at hand. What has the Punjab police done? What has the Punjab police done?
The Punjab police today held an operative of Khalistan terror group. Kindly check the Twitter handle official of DGP police.
I'm very glad.
Punjab.
Right. But then why not in fact deny permission to such individuals to hold rallies? If it's happening in Hoshiarpur, it's happening in other parts of Punjab, there is a very clear pattern over here, sir. And many are raising a question as to whether, these individuals who have just come in, Captain Amrinder has raised this question about why these individuals suddenly emerged on the scene. Where were they before 6 months? They've suddenly been patronized, or they've suddenly emerged out of nowhere?
During the regime of Captain Amrinder Singh, number of times these type of rallies has been taken place. Since last 40 years, this rallies has been taking place. And one example, Simranjit Singh Maan. Wait a minute. Simranjit Singh Maan, which we are talking about. Who is Simranjit Singh Maan? He is from Shiromani Akali Dal, a splinter group of Shiromani Akali Dal, with whom Bharatiya Janata Party was in power.
Okay.
And Sanju Verma ji, you can shout at your top of the voice.
Okay, important point. Let me take that question across to Ramnik Man. Ramnik Man, this has happened during Captain's regime and previous regimes. Also, these rallies are not new. They've happened in Punjab before. That is the statement coming in from Akash Muni. Please respond to him. Is he correct?
Yeah, there are more statements. There is a statement from one of the Punjab ministers. He says that we will not allow anybody to burn Punjab. That is because they have taken the onus upon themselves. It is them who have planned and have initiated a plan to burn Punjab. And this is the way they are executing it. It is very clear, sir, please.
It's okay. Akash Muni, nobody interrupted you, sir. Please let him finish. I'll give you all a chance to respond. There's a lot of time. Ramnik Man.
So let me... Yeah. So what is happening is, it is normalizing a secessionist movement in the society. You bring out a rally in Bathinda, you bring out a rally in Hoshiarpur, you bring out a rally in Jalandhar, and next, Ravi Srivastava ji asks, "Isme galat kya hai? What is wrong with it?" The court allows it, the Supreme Court allows. Fair enough. It is narrative building. It is normalizing a secessionist thought. And you are forgetting, sir, you don't belong to Punjab, I'm sorry. But we have lost thousands of young lives. Thousands of innocents have lost their lives. No, sir, I am not talking about you, I am talking about Ravi Srivastava. Sir, please, har ek cheez apne upar mat liya karo. You are not that important, I will address you always.
No.
So,
you are talking
when Srivastava Saab says, how do you evaluate? How do you know it has value? It may have value to somebody. Sir, please.
One second, Ravi Srivastava, let me make his point. Ravi, you have spoken for a fair amount of time. Please allow other panelists their chance to speak. Let's not suppress his voice. There are other panelists who are even yet to speak. I am waiting very patiently. Ravi Srivastava, please. Calm down for a minute, Ravi Srivastava, please.
Sir, not
Mr. Man.
Why are you so nervous? Why don't you let me finish?
Go on. Floor is yours.
So how do you know it has a value or not? Tomorrow you will say, let's have a referendum in Punjab. It has no value. Let it happen. This is what you want to do. This is how you run a democratic country. Sir, my submission here is, Madhav, that the Aam Aadmi Party and their senior leadership is in cahoots with the Khalistanis. I have said this a zillion times, I'll repeat it again. They are in the bed with the Khalistanis, they take their funding, they are promoting them, and now they are allowing this to happen on the streets of Punjab.
Okay.
This is the level of normalization that they are getting this movement.
Very serious charges, very serious charges. I don't know what you have in terms of backing that up. I don't know how you can back up that claim, but let me take that question because it's not the first time that claim is being made. Dr. Piyush Joshi.
Kejriwal and party might just make a Bayan Singh out of
Okay. Dr. Piyush Joshi, very serious charges. The Aam Aadmi Party government is being backed by Khalistanis from funding to actually, turning a blind eye to such events. There are various such allegations coming in from political opponents. You heard those reactions coming in. It's being repeated right here. What exactly is the AAP doing? There may have been one detention today, as Akashdeep Muni has said, but the number of events that we've seen, and I'm going to read out some of those events for your sake and for the sake of our viewers. In the past 6 months, several such incidents have been reported. On the 2nd of October, pro-Khalistan, anti-India slogans were found written on the outer wall of the office of the Divisional Forest Officer in Bhatinda. Also, a similar incident was reported in June where pro-Khalistan graffiti was found painted on a wall of official residence of District Sessions Judge in Faridkot, while a Khalistan flag, I beg your pardon, was reportedly installed at gate number 3 of the Faridkot court complex. There are several such allegations and incidents that have been reported. The question that is being raised is that, is the government looking away deliberately? Dr. Joshi.
Well, certainly not, because Punjab has been a sensitive state like some of the states in the northeast of the country, and Kashmir. Kashmir is being run by the Home Ministry, yet we see the incidences of sporadic violence happening. We don't blame and we don't say that the central government or the Modi government is anti-national or is in cohort with the terrorist organizations. There are two sides to this debate, two phases that can be ascribed to this kind of debate. One is the populist debate, which our BJP spokesperson is engaging in, mentioning the slogans again and again. And the other side is to solve a terrorist problem, a terrorist issue. So the Khalistan has been a terrorist issue. You have to talk to the fringe elements. You have to suppress the fringe elements and use the strong arm when it is required. So there's a solution to a complicated problem.
Sir, who have you spoken to in the last 6 months? Please tell us, who has been spoken to? Where is this dialogue going on? And why are such rallies being allowed in the public? Why should permission even be given for these rallies? What's the message going out?
Look, Madhavji, it is very simple that these kinds of rallies have been held in the past, and to each and every rally...
Two wrongs don't justify each other, sir. Even if that is correct, I am granting you. Maybe that allegation of yours is correct. Maybe successive Congress and Shiromani Akali Dal regimes have gone soft on them. But the question that arises over here is that why should the Aam Aadmi Party government allow it? You are a government that has said in Delhi that there is a Desh Bhakti curriculum. Does Desh Bhakti just stop at the curriculum? Or should there be action where a party is in power in a state? And a sensitive state such as Punjab at that.
I understood your question, and I'm not going to take ages to respond to this. It is very clear, a state as complicated as Punjab and a problem as complicated as the Khalistan problem, like it is there in the northeastern state and in Kashmir, requires some time to solve it. It is only barely 6 months, and there has been no incident. There has been very, very few sporadic incidences of violence. So we should give the credit where it is due. I am sure, given another 1.5 years to 2 years,
credit is not being given where it is due, Mr. Tushar Gupta. Credit is not being given where it is due. Many would raise questions, and at least the political opposition in Punjab is raising questions as to whether credit should be given and to what, and for what rather.
Good evening, Madhav. Madhav, I've been listening for a while and I'll address a few points here. If I were to go by Ravi Srivastavaji's logic, perhaps PFI should have never been banned, because he would say the rallies are not the rallies are not violent. So why ban the PFI? So I completely discard Ravi Srivastavaji's logic here. Number two, everyone who comes up with this pipe dream of Khalistan, I ask them one simple question. Tell me your economic model. Tell me your defense model. Tell me your political model. Will Khalistan have place for Hindus, which are 40% of Punjab's population today? I ask them these simple questions, they never turn up. The people who are holding referendums today, uploading videos on YouTube, calling for the Khalistan movement and sitting in Canada, Madhav, I assure you not even 100 of them can land in Delhi, because they know if they land in Delhi, the centre government will round them up. Nevertheless, now coming to the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. Look, the problem is the Aam Aadmi Party, not since 2022, since they took over power in Punjab, but in 2017 also, had some grey shades during their campaign when Kejriwal overstayed a night in someone's house, who was famous for his connections with Khalistan movement. So there is a baggage comes with the Aam Aadmi Party. Nevertheless, dismissing all of that, The Aam Aadmi Party is the first to rush to the centre to ask for 50,000 crores after the government is formed because the state is under debt. Raghav Chadha is sitting in Chandigarh managing the political affairs in Punjab. Arvind Kejriwal every third day is in Punjab managing the system over there. My question is simple. Where are they today when a movement like this is happening, when a rallies like this is happening? Shouldn't Bhagwant Mann be in Delhi right now discussing the matter with the centre government? Shouldn't Arvind Kejriwal be addressing this in Punjab? Shouldn't Raghav Chadha be coming out and talking about this? For a party that loves hosting press conferences on every single issue, where are they today when something as dangerous as this is taking on in the state? I'm not saying that the Aam Aadmi Party should have wiped out the problem in 6 months, but my problem is they are not even responding to it as they respond to every other problem every other day. Okay. Where are they today? Raghav Chadha, Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann. And what worries me is that the state government apparatus, which was the Punjab police, was seen there giving protection to the rally. That is what worries me to the core.
Well, absolutely. And those are some very, very valid concerns. And Ravi Srivastava, you know, I started off this debate by saying I'm going to also get to the point as to why this is dangerous. Sanju Verma, I can see your hand. I'm going to come to you in just a minute. But question to Ravi Srivastava is this. Apart from what has been stated here by Tushar Gupta, you know what the Dal Khalsa is saying today? The Dal Khalsa today claims that false cases are being filed against Mr. Gajinder Singh. You know, it's come to that. A person who has actually been a hijacker, his party is coming out and claiming that they are innocent. They are absolutely pure and pious. Nothing is wrong with them. They are honest people protesting for Khalistan. That is the kind of confidence and statement that such individuals are getting with this inaction.
Long arm of the law will take its course and definitely such people will be brought to book. But I want to respond to Mr. Gupta. The first question it is asking, what is your economic model? What is your finance model? What is your foreign policy? What is your this? Do you acknowledge the Khalistan movement? Who gave you the authority to talk to them? Who are they? They are not the nationals, they are the anti-nationals. Why should I ask them whether economic model?
Ravi Srivastava ji,
Dr. Joshi just said you have to talk to everyone.
You should be the last question.
One of our panelists just said there needs to be a debate, sir. Dr. Joshi, let me address that question to Dr. Joshi. Dr. Joshi, Mr. Ravi Srivastava is a supporter of AAP. He's saying, why are you talking to them? So I think we should make up our minds as to what our position is when it comes to such elements. Dr. Joshi, would you like to respond to Ravi Srivastava?
Of course, I would like to respond to Mr. Srivastava and to your question as well. It is very clear thing. It is very clear that I started by saying there can be two sides to this debate. One is the populist nature of the debate. One is the actual solution finding debate. So if you're talking about solution finding, you have to use the carrot and stick approach.
There is just one side.
In your dreams, my brother, in your dreams.
There can never be two sides to this debate. There can never be a Khalistan. I'm sorry. There is no scope for discussion. No scope for discussion. No. Let's not normalize a discussion around this. Let's not normalize a discussion around this. I'm sorry, there cannot be two sides to this debate. Punjab is an integral part of India. There can never be a debate on the possibility of Khalistan. There are no two sides to this debate. I'm sorry.
Who was asking about their foreign policy?
There can never be two sides to this debate. I come from the region. I won't accept it.
Did we ask about their economic model? Did we ask about their funding problems?
That is because it does not exist. That is because it does not exist.
Mr. Do not trivialize the debate. I did not interfere you. I expect the same courtesy. I did not interfere you.
Okay, gentlemen, you know, here this is the trouble. This is the trouble in such very sensitive issues. You know, Punjab is a sensitive border state. You know, when it comes to our own strategy, whether it is the state government or the central government, all people need to be in sync. We certainly can't afford these kind of very loose statements that often are made when it comes to Khalistan. Perhaps this is the reason why this debate is so necessary, why attention needs to be focused, because reviving something such as Khalistan could have such serious effects in terms of actually going ahead and its impact that it could have. But before I close this debate, two quick questions to the central government as well. And I'm going to raise this question to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, there are at least a dozen or so Khalistan terror groups who continue to live in plain sight, and several such organizations. State government, of course, has the primary responsibility as far as law and order is concerned. Certain actions and certain activities against individuals have been taken in the past. But what about those who are going to continue propagating the Khalistan ideology on ground? What needs to be done at the level of the center?
You know, Madhav, I'm glad you asked me that question. I'll just say one thing. You know, before answering that, there has been a reference to the Supreme Court judgment saying that, you know, Raj Karega Khalsa and Khalistan Zindabad slogans are bona fide and there is nothing illegal about them. This judgment of the Supreme Court was given by Justice A.S. Anand way back in 1995. And at that time he said, if stray slogans are made by one or two individuals, then Khalistan Zindabad slogan may not necessarily be seditious. But when there is a coordinated attempt and it becomes institutional and more than two people are involved, then it becomes sedition. So Mr. Ravi Srivastava, please go back and read that Supreme Court judgment of 1995 before misleading the audience of Times Now. And what the Modi government has done, it has made, let me tell you very clearly, you are not being heard. So please stop ranting. Seeks for justice banned under UAPA. Jaswinder Multani arrested in December 2021. Hardeep Singh Nijjar designated terrorist. Poetic Justice Foundation banned in India. Jagmeet Dhaliwal.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. We'll have to leave it there. We're completely out of time. Sanju Verma, Ramneek Maan, Tushar Gupta, Ravi Srivastava, Akashdeep Muni and Dr. Piyush Joshi. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. It's a very, very important issue. Can such slogans be allowed? And if there is a Supreme Court judgment that is over 25, 30 years old, does that perhaps need to be revisited? Perhaps certain parties need to be approaching the court because these kind of slogans certainly are not acceptable in today's day and age. They may have been at a time when the Khalistan movement was at its peak, but certainly not today. That's a very, very important issue that certainly needs to be addressed by all concerned, whether the state or the centre. We'll have to leave it there for the moment. Thanks so much for joining us on debate number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, the fire over the yet-to-be-released Adipurush refuses to die. If yesterday critics were fuming over Ravan's look in the teaser, today the BJP has raised the red flag over the depiction of Lord Ram's most faithful disciple, Lord Hanuman. BJP state mantris have taken strong objection to Hanuman wearing leather cloth in the teaser. They've in fact drawn, leather clothes rather, they've drawn the red line, and in fact the Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh has said that if the scene is not chopped off, then the makers must be ready to face a case. Congress has termed it saffron censor. Listen in.
मैंने उसका ट्रेलर देखा है और सच में उसमें आपत्तिजनक दृश्य है। हमारी आस्था के जो केंद्र बिंदु हैं, उनको जिस रूप में दिखाया गया है वो अच्छा नहीं है। ये धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले दृश्य हैं और मैं इसके जो निर्माता हैं ओम राउत जी, उनको पत्र लिख रहा हूं कि इस तरह की जितने भी दृश्य हैं इन्हें वो हटाएं। अगर वो नहीं हटाते हैं तो उसके बाद में हम कानूनी कार्रवाई पर विचार करें।
बात करें तो आश्रम फिल्म की बात करें या मां काली फिल्म की बात करें या सत्यनारायण की कथा वेब सीरीज की बात करें या बात करें तो करवा चौथ के एड की बात करें, इन सब के अंदर किस प्रकार से क्या हुआ, कैसा चित्रण हुआ, इसको लेकर इनके बयान हम देखते रहते हैं। अब ये आदि पुरुष पिक्चर को लेकर सामने आ गए। बेहतर हो कि इनको गृह विभाग की जिम्मेदारी से पदमुक्त कर इनको फिल्मों के सेंसर बोर्ड का सदस्य बना देना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो इनका वास्तविक काम है उससे तो ये नदारद रहते हैं। कौन सी फिल्म में, कौन सी वेब सीरीज में और कौन सा अभिनेता ने और कौन सी अभिनेत्री ने किस सीन के अंदर क्या किया, इस पर इनका विशेष ध्यान रहता है।
There's a stark contrast between the Hanuman in Ramayana versus the Hanuman in Om Raut's Adipurush. The Hanuman in Ramayana did have a mukut and beard. He donned red clothes. In Adipurush, the Hanuman has no mukut and sports a beard, wears a leather vest. This has riled BJP netas. Listen in.
जो टीजर हमने देखा है उसमें जिस ढंग से उनके वेशभूषा को पहनाया गया उसको मैं उचित नहीं मानता। इस पर संत समाज ने भी प्रश्नवाचक चिन्ह खड़ा किया है। संत समाज की राय एकदम सही है और किसी को भी हिंदू धर्म पे, सनातन धर्म पे छेड़छाड़ करने की इजाज़त नहीं है और इस प्रकार की धार्मिक भावनाओं से खिलवाड़ करने से लोगों को बचना चाहिए।
And here say that they won't tolerate an insult to the Sanatan Dharma. Listen in.
हमारे देवी देवताओं का अपमान हो रहा। हमारे देवी देवताओं का अपमान तो कोई स्वप्न में भी नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन कुछ ऐसे विधर्मी लोग हैं, वो हमारे समाज में भी हैं। और जब मैंने एक श्लोक के माध्यम से आपको बता दिया, जब ऐसी प्रकृतियां, ऐसे विरोधी तत्व पैदा होते हैं तो कोई न कोई महापुरुष प्रकट होता है और इनका संहार करता है। यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य, जब जब सनातन धर्म का ह्रास हुआ तब तक कोई न कोई महापुरुष पैदा हुआ और उसने सबका नाश कर दिया। तो उस समय आ चुका है। अगर ये लोग ऐसा नहीं करेंगे, सनातन धर्म का अपमान नहीं करेंगे, तो इनका नाश कैसे होगा?
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Ravi Rai, filmmaker. Deepa Ishwar, activist, is with us. Kailash Adhikari is MD of Governance Now. And Kasturi Shankar is a noted actor joining us. Let me begin with Ravi Rai. Ravi Rai, what do you make of this entire debate that's going on? You know, threats being given by a home minister that if there are no, scenes censored which he deems unfit, then there would be legal cases for the filmmaker. You know, this kind of overreaching censorship and cancel culture that appears to be, very clearly present in our political space. Is it just playing to the gallery, or do you think the minister has a point? Do you support such statements coming in from politicians? Because you yourself are a filmmaker, Mr. Rai.
Madhav, very honestly, I'll tell you, I'm not getting into who is right, who is wrong. My point of view has been and will always be, if there is something which troubles anybody, especially our religion, let's not touch religion. We've seen over a period of time that religion is a very sensitive issue. I mean, time and again, in the last decade also, if you go to see, they've only discussed Hinduism being attacked, Madhav. And Hindus have been tolerant over a billion of years, they've been tolerant. But I think if they are turning a little intolerant, not the right word to use, because there is a limit to take things, there is a limit to, my only point there is, छोड़ दो उसको भाई, उसको टच मत करो. अगर हम इस्लाम को, क्रिश्चियनिटी को, सिखिज्म को टच नहीं कर रहे, why time and again are you testing the tolerance of Hindus? One fine day they are going to blow themselves their top. So if there is, in my last 60 days,
I understand your point, sir, but the question that then arises is that, when there is a creative medium such as film or television or even a novel or a song, at the end of the day, it is about the creative license of the person making it. Yes, I completely agree with you that there are sensibilities to be respected when it comes to the film itself. But let me complete my question to you, sir. My question is this, that a lot of the interpretation that people are not able to tolerate and the criticism that is coming in is that 35 साल पहले तो हनुमान ऐसे दिखते थे, अब ऐसे नहीं है. Times have changed, people's tastes have changed. This is what is, in fact, there are several scenes which have been copied from other Hollywood movies and other serials. Why is that so difficult to fathom?
Now, will you make Jesus a rock star and bring Mother Mary with an oomph? You will not. Forget, I will not even use the word Islam.
Okay.
Do you have the guts to do that? Why do you only play with Hinduism? I have no issue. I'm a very, very liberal man, but I am saying if that irks a section, if that irks the sentiments of Hindus, why are you time and again? I mean, how many times have we debated only Hinduism and blaming Hindus for being intolerant?
Okay, I'm going to allow the question. I'm going to allow the question, and I want Kailash Adhikari to respond to that. Kailash Adhikari, this is only happening with Hindus time and again. Why are the creative licenses only being taken with Hindus and not with those of other religions? That's a question coming in from Mr. Ravi Rai.
Madhav, first let us understand, and we should go that take a background talk also of who have made it. The director of this movie, Mr. Om Raut, he has made Tanaji movie before, which has been respected by a wide section of the society, also by the audiences that have seen it, and it has been a grand success. I'm not equating success with sensibilities, don't take me wrong, but going by the, his work is a testimony that some amount of research must have gone by him also. Secondly, the makers of this film, the producers of this film, T-Series, which is Super Cassette Industries, they are an institution, and I'm not patronizing anyone here, but they are an institution from where the Bhakti Sangeet actually started, from their late founder, Shri Gulshan Kumarji. So now that is established. If a certain depiction is made, now in a cinematic form, Madhav, because since I also come from the industry, there are certain creative liberties to be taken. That creative liberties should not affect the sentiments of any particular community, which I also strongly believe. But just looking at the trailer and jumping to some hazardous conclusions, which can affect the actual hard work of so many peoples are there on a particular project, a great amount of economy, Madhav, rides, on the cinema industry. And of late, we have seen in various movies, there is a movie, thank God, releasing on 25th of October, again by the same production house and the makers who have been very well known to make good movies in the past. Again, there is some controversy which I have heard that is coming. So this, already the industry is battling a very hard 2022. And just by looking at the trailer, jumping to certain conclusions without giving, any opportunity of being heard to the other party is not right. I mean, you're jeopardizing an industry.
Fair point. Mr. Rai, are we jumping to conclusions? As a filmmaker, you know that the trailer, is just a teaser. It just shows, it's just skimming at the surface. It does not in any way show you what the content of the film is. So if the content of the film is been adequate, and you can see this scene is, many are saying that this is a lift-off from Aquaman. There are other Harry Potter and other movies that are being referred to. There is Planet of the Apes that has been referred to. There are several other contemporary fantasy series that are being referred to. Why not actually look at the content of this and if the filmmakers have been fair to the subject or not before drawing these conclusions? Mr. Rai.
No, I'm not drawing the conclusions, Madhav. My point is, try and understand, my point is, we are open to everything. There are billions and billions of premises to prove your experiments, and we do it. But why you touch 1, 2, 3 religions which are sensitive? And the point here is not industry is going through this, industry is going through that, we need to... No, that is not. If industry is going through, why do you want to tamper with... देखो हमने माधव इतने दिनों में देख लिया है, there is a certain amount of intolerance, there is a certain amount of saturations that has touched the Hindus. We've been watching this. And not that we've been siding with Hindus, we are blaming them. यार हम तो inclusive religion है, यार ये क्या हो गया है हिंदुओं को? But Hindus also do not mean
Mr.
that
Rai,
they are...
You refer to touching other religions. Let me just remind you what the Supreme Court did in 2006 when the movie Da Vinci Code came in, when petitioners sought its ban on grounds that it hurt the religious sentiments of Christians in the country. And, the Supreme Court rejected those petitions seeking a ban on the screening of the controversial film, that it hurts religious sentiments of Christians in the country, and they have gone on to make those observations. So it's not the first time that this is happening. And very clearly, this entire cancel culture and creative freedom, many would say, needs to be checked.
No, I'm totally with you, and with all my sanity. What I'm saying, कि 50 साल में एक बार Da Vinci Code आ गई, या Temptation of Jesus Christ आ गई. But here, every Friday, I'm a liberal Hindu, but I'm tired. Every Friday we are discussing Hinduism. Have you discussed Islam, Madhav? Have you discussed Islam? You have not.
Kasturi Shankar.
Issue
No, there are many issues pertaining to Islam that have been discussed right here on this channel, but I'm going to take your question across to Kasturi Shankar. The question still remains, Kasturi Shankar, that it is only Hindus and particular religions that are being singled out for this kind of, many would call distortion or mockery or improper depiction, however one chooses to call it, that is being alleged by several, including several politicians and even ministers in states, and also our panelist here, Mr. Ravi Rai. Please respond to that, Kasturi.
I do see a lot of substance in what he's saying, but here's the thing. I look at it from a very filmy person point of view, from an industry insider point of view, and I'm thinking it's not about what is said, it's also about who's saying it. I don't believe that Tips and Bhushan Kumar are anti-Hindu propagandists. I think this is just a very, very ill-fated and extremely mishandled effort of trying to project Ram and Ramayan in some kind of Game of Thrones, Hollywood kind of way. I think the hangover and all the influences, if I may, inspirations, if I may say so, have completely backfired on the movie. But I don't think they did it with malicious intent. I think you can call it ignorance, you can call it completely losing their way, losing their direction, but I don't think it was meant to hurt the sentiments of people, only because of who is doing it. Now, I do agree with Mr. Rai that we cannot even make a movie where we show the backside of someone and call him the prophet, or God forbid, personalize Allah. We cannot do that. A TV spokesperson for even bringing the name of Allah was got international condemnation. So it is a problem. Tolerance is always advocated for Hindus, but I'll tell you why. It's because the majority religion in India. It is also the oldest. It's not even a religion. There's so many different branches of Hinduism. We have every kind of blasphemy in Hinduism already.
Okay.
Just like Christianity is taken liberties with in the West. You have a Jesus Christ superstar. You have an angels and demons.
Right.
You have many depictions of Jesus Christ as gay, his apostles as transvestites playing them. All this happens in the West. All this happens in Hollywood because that's a majority religion and that's what they will take from.
Okay, I think that's a very evolved view. I think that's a very evolved view, and you've very comprehensively explained your position. But I want to bring in Deepa Ishwar now. Deepa Ishwar, even somebody who agrees with what Mr. Ravi Rai has said, he says that yes, there are certain issues when it comes to depiction of certain religions. But the question that she is raising is this: that liberal societies have that culture of questioning everything, of lampooning everyone, and certainly, of course, in this case, it's not just lampooning, but certainly, perhaps, at best, what one can accuse them of is perhaps not doing enough research. The intention was not to outrage, but to try and reinterpret it in some kind of a contemporary sort of vision, which perhaps could have been better executed. That itself is debatable, but you can't question their freedom to do it and also their intention. That's the argument coming in from Kasturi. Please respond to that, Deepa.
So I think, what I don't understand and what is very funny is the fact that, when it comes to Hindus and when we express our disappointment on depicting our gods, the entire universe, Jagat Advisory comes on board and tells us, hey, look at the intent, look at the content, look at what is the intent, look at his previous movies, and it's just a teaser. Times have changed. I'm sorry, sir, but the news anchor, you yourself, sir, made the most hilarious statement I've ever heard in recent times. You say that Hanuman doesn't look like how he was in Ramayana because times have changed. I challenged this director to make a movie on Holy Mother Mary, giving her a completely different avatar because times have changed. And I'm not even talking about what would have happened if he'd make a movie on Islam, because times have changed and women are not with burqas but something else, and they say that come on, times have changed. I think that's a very irresponsible statement from a news person, that this should be considered as just changing times.
Not at all. And the reason I'm saying that, let me explain my comment.
Like I said in the beginning, you say that look at the intent.
Deepa Ishwar, please allow me to explain what I was trying to say and put it in context, because you've taken it and twisted it totally to one other extreme. What I'm trying to say is that what these filmmakers are being accused of is lifting off scenes from several recent movies. And I've given those references, whether it is Aquaman, whether it is Game of Thrones, whether it is several other series that have been referred to. There are comparisons of those specific scenes. All I'm trying to say is that they have tried and created a new fantasy universe. See, let us also remember, Deepa Ishwar, that the Ramayana itself has 100 versions. Are you going to come out and say that only one? Let me make my point, Deepa Ishwar. Are you saying that Ramayana should only be Valmiki's Ramayana or Tulsidas' Ramayana?
Please do not argue with me. I thought this panel was open for discussion. It should not be your opinion against mine. We should be allowed to say our opinion.
Do you think that of the 100 versions of Ramayana, only one should be taken as sacrosanct? Is that your view? That only one version should be sacrosanct?
No, sir. You are sitting on your panel and telling me that they have actually gone ahead and created a new Hanuman, a new fantasy, and you're telling me that I should sit back and look at it like, oh, I have a new god here, who I know the mantra of Hanuman, I always chant it, and I have to look at Hanuman saying, oh, we have leather belts, and Hanuman is wearing, oh, great creativity, and you're sitting on a panel on a news desk and telling me to believe and look at it from a creativity and from a content point of view. I think that's extremely hilarious. Again, let me please say that this director had made Tanaji earlier, and I'm a big fan of it. His earlier work and previous works need not be brought into this discussion to dilute the discussion.
We have in our mythology sages who sit on leather skin of tigers. So where does leather skin suddenly become such an offensive thing? We have that depiction also. We have a pluralist depiction and various views. I mean, one single point of view cannot be...
Amazing. So
I'm asking you that question.
Now the debate has totally shifted from God
no, it's
and
the
only
same.
to the
It's a valid
attire.
question.
Let's put that into context.
It's a valid question.
Again,
You are outraging about one small aspect, which I'm specifically explaining to you a precedent of. Can you explain it, madam?
No,
are those Rishi Munis then wrong? Are they not Hindu then?
You were trying to trivialize this subject. You
Not
were
at
trying
all.
to trivialize
There is no trivialization, madam. I am asking you a specific question. Please answer this.
Do not trivialize this subject.
No, madam. You are restricting Hindus to one particular interpretation, whereas the religion is very diverse. One may not even believe in the text and still be a Hindu. That freedom is there with all of us as Hindus to do that. That freedom may not be there in other religions which have a codified set of rules, laws that they have to follow, and one holy book. That does not exist in Hinduism, madam. You are unnecessarily forcing your standards on all of us. If I want to see a film which has a newer and a more contemporary interpretation, every citizen should have a right to do that. And I'm going to bring another panelist. I'm going to bring another panelist, Kailash Adhikari. You know, Deepa Ishwar here is outraged because she says, I believe in Hanuman in one particular projection. You cannot change that for me, and you cannot change that for anyone else in the country. Please respond to her. Kailash Adhikari.
First of all, Madhav, for any film to be released in theatres, there is a censor board. We all agree. And that censor board is set up by the government under the guidance of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and there are certain guidelines laid. If Adipurush gets the censor certificate, that means it has passed all that screening. Now, this I am not saying. There are certain guidelines, and those guidelines are government guidelines, because that is a government body. At the end of
sensitivity.
Ma'am, now we are taking this into a very subjective matter. Censor board has certain guidelines which the government has. Otherwise, we can challenge each and every law in this country. So I'm just saying that there are certain guidelines. If Adipurush Madhav, goes through that guidelines, and if there is a censor certificate obtained, then naturally the picture has nothing objectionable. Otherwise, if any objectionable material is there, the censor board in the past has given numerous amounts of cuts to many pictures where there are objectionable matters. Now, I don't know whether the movie has got the censor certificate or not. I'm not aware of it. But if it has got, let's say, the censor certificate, then it has crossed that. And as far as the depiction is concerned, Madhav, what you asked me in the beginning, interpretation, creative liberty, yes, I said in the very beginning itself that it is left up to the maker. But at the same time, yes, certain sensibilities should be respected. Now, by looking at 3 minutes vis-a-vis, how much, however, the runtime of the film must be, I don't know, 130, 140, 150 minutes.
Deepa Ishwar, let me just make 2 or 3 very important points, and this is very important for our viewers to understand. And I want to just show this picture of Lord Hanuman. This is a picture of Lord Hanuman. We had this on the debate yesterday, and the reason I'm bringing this up is yesterday the criticism is that Hanuman is depicted with a beard but no moustache. And look at this picture. This is a picture most of our viewers would be very familiar with. It's a depiction of Lord Hanuman, and that is because Lord Hanuman is a monkey god. Monkeys have fur. Have you ever seen a monkey depiction with a moustache anywhere of Lord Hanuman? At least I have not. Our viewers can fill us in with that. And also, Deepa Ishwar, there are multiple interpretations of where Lord Ram is killing a deer in Ramayana. You're so offended with this concept of leather being used. What about horses that are seen on the battlefield? How are the harnesses made of? Are they made of gold? Are they made of cloth? These kind of bizarre interpretations are absolutely unacceptable. And I'm shocked today, Deepa Ishwar, that you're taking such a one-sided and very narrow view about what is offending you as a citizen.
May I get a word in edgeways, Madhav? I'd like to answer 2 questions directly.
As a citizen?
Yes,
okay. First, I'm going to address Mr. Kailash Adhikari's, I think he made an assumption about whether Adipurush has gotten a censor certificate. The way it works, as far as I know till yesterday, is that trailers and teasers do not have to go through a censor board. It's the end product. Well, let me finish. It's the end product that needs to be censored. The movie itself is not ready yet. It is going to be exhibited in 2023. Material that's less than 1 minute long doesn't have to go through the censor board to be on YouTube. To be shown in theaters, yes, but to be on YouTube, not necessarily. To be on online media, no. That is one. So yes, they can take liberties, and they do that. A lot of movies will have a teaser that's a lot more provocative, and those things won't be in the actual movie because they're using it to, have eyeballs. This is number one. Number two,
all right, I'm sorry, Kasturi, I'm interrupting you because we're completely out of time. The point is this. The point is this, that as Hindus, there are multiple interpretations of our religion. There are multiple saints who have different and differing views. Within Hindutva itself, there's Dvaita, Advaita, two very diametrically opposing thoughts. You can have any of those thoughts or have subscribed to any of those beliefs. You can have any god, whether you're a Shaivite or a Vaishnavite. That does not change whether you're a Hindu. With these multiplicity of, traditions of worship, should Hinduism or Hindus be completely outraged about a depiction? That's something I'll leave you with. But when it comes to creativity and creative freedom and licenses and even copying from others, there's one quote of T.S. Eliot that is perhaps the famous poet that perhaps should be noted. He says that immature poets imitate, mature poets steal, bad poets deface what they take, and good poets make it into something better or at least something different. This is T.S. Eliot from The Sacred Wood, and perhaps the only test of creativity of these filmmakers is whether they've actually done a good job by copying from all of these sources. The worst that perhaps one can accuse them is of copying. We'll have to leave our viewers with those thoughts this evening. Thanks so much for joining us.
The News Hour at 9 will be right back after the break.
For decision makers, for the opinionated, for the unsure, for dinner time debaters, from metro stations to living rooms.
We present the facts and help India make a judgment. From stories that shake the nation to opinions that shape them. I delve deep into the biggest news of the day and uncover every fact, every source, and every statement through debate and discussion. Get a 360-degree perspective on every story and get a conclusive closure. Join me, Navika Kumar, on the News Hour at 9, only on Times Now.
The News Hour at 9. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky and discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The News Hour at 9 will be right.
and welcome. You're watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Right at the beginning, very, very warm Navratri greetings to all of our viewers who are celebrating. Now, ever since we've had, in the last few years, several films releasing which have faced protest. Many of them have been boycotted, and this time it is Saif Ali Khan and Prabhas starrer Adipurush which is at the receiving end of boycott calls. The reasons are aplenty, but largely it has to do with the look of various characters in the film, as you would have learned by now. So to give you a quick primer, here are the major faults that are being pointed out in Adipurush. First is the look of Ravan himself. His hair, the fact that his beard and he has surma-lined eyes, all of these are being likened to Mughal kings. Even the fact that he is not wearing a crown or a mukut. Then there is the look of Lord Hanuman. The fact that he is shown with a beard and a purported leather vest, and again not wearing a mukut. Even the kundals associated with him or the earrings associated with him are missing. This issue that started as an online protest now even has state governments jumping in and a full-fledged boycott call, restarting that eternal debate. Can you fiddle with what is laid down as a part of religious beliefs, or are people getting oversensitive about a creative project?
मैंने उसका ट्रेलर देखा है और सच में उसमें आपत्तिजनक दृश्य है। हमारी आस्था के जो केंद्र बिंदु हैं उनको जिस रूप में दिखाया गया है वो अच्छा नहीं है। ये धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले दृश्य हैं और मैं इसके जो निर्माता हैं ओम राउत जी, उनको पत्र लिख रहा हूं कि इस तरह की जितने भी दृश्य हैं इन्हें वो हटाएं। अगर वो नहीं हटाते हैं तो उसके बाद में हम कानूनी कार्रवाई पर विचार करें।
बात करें तो आश्रम फिल्म की बात करें या माँ काली फिल्म की बात करें या सत्यनारायण की कथा वेब सीरीज की बात करें या बात करें तो करवा चौथ के एड की बात करें, इन सब के अंदर किस प्रकार से क्या हुआ, कैसा चित्रण हुआ, इसको लेके इनके बयान हम देखते रहते हैं। अब ये आदि पुरुष पिक्चर को लेके सामने आ गए। बेहतर हो कि इनको गृह विभाग की जिम्मेदारी से पदमुक्त कर इनको फिल्मों के सेंसर बोर्ड का सदस्य बना देना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो इनका वास्तविक काम है उससे तो ये नदारद रहते हैं। कौन सी फिल्म में, कौन सी वेब सीरीज में और कौन सा अभिनेता ने और कौन सी अभिनेत्री ने किस सीन के अंदर क्या किया, इस पर इनका विशेष ध्यान रहता है।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, Nupur Mehta, actor, Rahul Ishwar, activist, Shehzad Khan, actor, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Dr. Suman Siraman, also political analyst, and Nasir Abdullah, actor. Let me first start with Rahul Ishwar and Nasir Abdullah. Rahul Ishwar, if we keep going at this rate, then everything will be boycotted.
Padmajaji, the twin brother of creativity is sensitivity. The twin sister of liberty is responsibility. And please remember, Ramayana is a cultural, civilizational, along with that, a spiritual, religious text which forms the core of Indian civilization. Sri Ram is the most respected icon in the largest Hindu majority India to the largest Muslim majority Indonesia. So people have such sensitivities. And Ravan is a Brahmin, and Ravan is a master of so many arts, but he has wronged. That's the reason why he ended up with his fate. But look at these posters. You know, how did a Planet of Apes came in? There are vampires in Ramayana. कुछ तो sensitivity होना चाहिए ना. What kind of cartoon have you made of Ram?
Which part do you find insensitive? Which part do you find insensitive? Which exact part?
We all respected.
Because you know a lot of people have said कि वो सुरमा क्यों लगाया हुआ?
I mean, look at
और somebody has said उसके बाल कैसे?
Look at the.
But who's to know कि रावण के बाल कैसे थे?
See, it is not about the. It is not about Hindu-Muslim issue or anything else, but it is about respectful and responsible, picturization. Sri Ram, is one of the most celebrated deities of India, who even Allama Iqbal calls Imam-e-Hind. But look at the dress, look at the attire, look at Ravan, and where did these vampires and Planet of Apes came in? So there should be some sensitivity. So people are naturally out of expectation. We all love our movies.
Okay, Nasir Abdullah, anyone growing up has watched, even if somebody hasn't read the Ramayana, even watching Ramanand Sagar's epic, We know a couple of things. We know that there was the Pushpak Viman. That was the Savari of Ravan, the Vahan of Ravan. Now, to have this strange bat-like creature, it's not, I mean, I wonder, would you call it creative freedom or would you just call it, this is just bizarre. Where is this bat-like thing coming in?
Bizarreness is a part of the creative freedom. When you have the creative freedom, you're allowed to go actually bizarre. There should be no problem with that. The point is, the film industry, when they make something, unlike a Ram Leela, it will be different, but when they make a movie, there is the need to make it larger than life and to add their ideas to suit the times. They also get to feel the pulse of the people, and it is really up to the people to decide.
But how did the filmmakers decide that the pulse of the people is that instead of a Pushpak Viman, there should be a bat? Tomorrow you say, I have divined that that Jatayu should be replaced by a dog. I mean, what is this pulse of the people and how did you measure it?
I will tell you how. Here is the deal. You know, I've been on 3-4 of the channels earlier.
Yes.
They just don't let me speak. Either the anchor interrupts me and, you know, and
Sir,
gives me
I assure you, you will have no such problem here.
Or one of the guests interrupting. So can you be a little patient?
I am patient.
Give me half the time you give to Rahul Ishwar.
Okay, 30 seconds. Go on.
Give me half the time and promise me. Because I'm not saying anything untoward, I'm not saying anything scandalous, I'm not interested in making a spectacle of myself here. But I've been reading the comics of the Ramayana, I've been seeing it in the books, and there have been films made in the past where Dara Singh or somebody else happened to play one of the mythological whatever. It's fine. The point is, what is the offense? Yes. Ravan was an evil, Ravan was an evil man. They are having a problem with everything. About Ram because he has a mustache, about Ravan because he had a beard, about Hanuman because he's wearing some kind of a belt. I mean, there is no, and now they're saying that the Indian film industry is out to demean the Hindu dharma. I mean, can you imagine Indians living here, get this idea, okay, we'll make a film and we will demean Hindu religion. Don't you think
okay,
that
Mr. Abdullah,
crazy?
now you have gone on about too many different issues. I am asking you I don't know about what people are saying about demeaning and all that. I am asking you a specific question. It is written in Valmiki Ramayana. I'm asking you, it is written in the Valmiki Ramayana. It is a known fact that the Vahan was the Pushpak Viman. How could a filmmaker replace that with a strange bat-like creature?
Correct. Absolutely.
I missed your question because there is a lapse in the internet.
In the writing of the Valmiki Ramayana,
if it doesn't cost you too
in
much.
the writing of the Valmiki Ramayana, there are some very specific things that have been written.
Yeah.
What is the Vahan? How is Lord Ram dressed? How is Hanuman pictured by Valmiki himself?
Okay.
So let me start with a specific instance of the Vahan. So hear me out, Mr. Abdullah. That in the Pushpak, not Pushpak, Pushpak Viman is...
I don't understand. It's a movie. It's been made to look like a science fiction. For God's sake, grow up. You have decided what the gods like, what the gods were like.
It's not about God.
This is not
It's about what was written in the text.
10,000 years. Ram existed 10,000 years ago. Nobody knows what he looked like. We all know how Hanuman looked like. Unfortunately,
but we all know, not from the serial made by Ramanand Sagar also, but by Valmiki, Rishi Valmiki himself, which is the telling of the Ramayana.
All the versions are there. But we decide.
Sir, which version has Ravan on a bat? Name me. Which version has Ravan on a bat?
Rahul Ishwar, many years ago.
You say you have read all the versions. I don't claim to.
The Sabrimala, the temple entry for the women, he had said that this god is a virgin.
Sir, don't go into a different directions. I'm asking you a specific question. That in the Valmiki Ramayana...
but I am telling you what is... Yes, there's a Tulsidas version also.
Does the Tulsidas version have Ravan on top of a bat? Or a creature? Or a monkey?
So what is the...
Or a Mercedes?
Who is offended? No, tell me who's offended. Tell me who's offended. Are you offended? Padmaja, are you offended?
No, Padmaja, just 1 second.
Offended because they're showing a bat. So what? What is your problem?
I am offended.
Rahul Ishwar is offended. What is your problem with the bat? There are many reimaginings of the Ramayana. Rahul Ishwar.
I have a solution.
What is your offense?
Solution to the problem in the future.
Okay,
just 1 second. Padmaja, just 1 second. Abdullah sir, just give me 1 line.
Mr. Abdullah, give him a chance to speak. Okay, go on, Rahul Ishwar.
Padmaja, just 1 line.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Abdullah sir, suniye to. Abdullah sir, suniye. First of all, Abdullah sir, first of all, Ayyappa is a celibate, not a virgin. No, the virgin word is wrong. It's a celibate.
Okay, let's not keep going to Lord Ayyappa. Let's limit our discussion to Ramayana. Okay, can I please have silence for 10 seconds? Silence for 10 seconds.
Yeah, let's.
My question to you is, Rahul Ishwar, hold on a second. Nasir Abdullah says there are many versions of the Ramayana and many interpretations and reimaginings of the Ramayana. On one, there could be a Vahan as a bat also. Rahul Ishwar.
No, Padmaja ji, please remember Valmiki Ramayana. Valmiki is the biographer of Ram, Sri Ram or Lord Ram. Please remember, Ramayana is not comic. Ramayana is not mythology, whatever. Ramayana is a part of our history, civilization. And Valmiki is the biographer of Lord Ram, who has seen Lord Ram and who has written it. So there is a sanctity to the historical aspect of it. Second, you can imagine Pushpagaviman in 100 ways, no issue. But where did this bat kind of monster came in? And where did when the Astras goes, where did this Harry Potter creature comes in? And you know, look at, Raman Sagar Ramayana was so glorious. So please remember, sensitivity has a limit. You know, you have to have artistic liberty in a particular limit. So there is a Lakshmana Rekha for everything. In the name of freedom of expression, can you depict Sri Ram having AK-47 and Lakshman having a bazooka, saying that for the modern sensibility, let the Ram have a AK-47 and Lakshman carry a bazooka? That is not possible, sir. So there are some limits you have to do when you treat a religious spiritual text.
Okay, Sumansi Raman wants to answer that.
Okay.
Yes, Sumansi Raman. Hold on, Mr. Abdullah. Sumansi Raman.
Okay. Padmaja, if you don't like Ravana having a beard or riding a bat, you have the option of not watching the movie. How difficult is it for people to even understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Rahul Ishwar may feel offended. Well, that's too bad. If the censor board feels in its wisdom that this is permissible and this does not or is part of creative freedom and is not a problem, the matter ends there. Rahul Ishwar can feel most offended and can not only not watch the film, he can go around and put on Twitter saying, people, please don't watch this movie. He can even inform his friends. Or if he chooses to take it one level further, he can go to court.
So that is what he is doing. He is not saying that I'm going to go and beat anyone up. That is all he is saying. He is saying, but is it okay to take such liberties with what is documented?
What is the censor board there for? Then you shut it down. We will have various vigilance groups deciding what should be shown and what should not be shown.
No. So just a second. There is no vigilantism allowed. That is a thumb rule. Tomorrow, even while we are talking about can such liberties be taken, will you defend somebody saying I'm going to attack a theatre? Of course not. But at a fundamental level, you can have a discussion about is it okay to take such liberties? And are they being taken wantonly? That's it.
Padmaja, we sit and debate in a civilized manner, but that is not necessarily what happens on the ground. What happened to Padmavat? You saw that theatres were attacked, stones were thrown. What are we talking about? The very fact that we engage in this dialogue or debate and somehow suggest that the word of the censor board is not final, I think that is a dangerous trend. It's not about what Rahul Ishwar is doing or what somebody else is doing. Rahul Ishwar, I know, is not going to go and throw stones on theatres or not going to indulge in vigilantism. But the point is,
Why do you have a censor board if their decision is not going to be final?
Okay.
Exactly.
Because there have been multiple films, sir, and I'm not going to name them, which have been passed by the censor board. They have been censored outside, and nobody then offered the logic of complete vigilantism. And we can start again going by that same hackneyed example of why Salman Rushdie could never enter the country, why Satanic Verses was banned, why Salman Rushdie was stabbed barely a few months ago and is still continuing to be in hospital. So all of that, there nobody said, oh, you know, this is just like a creative retelling. It all boils down to that always. But if peacefully some people stand up and say, hey, look, it's not okay, please don't take these liberties, it is hurtful. That surely cannot be passed off as vigilantism, sir. Suman C. Raman, that's being a little harsh, you think?
I am sorry.
I have a solution, it won't happen again.
What is the assurance that what happened to Padmavat will not happen to this movie?
Okay, that's a great question. So what is the solution? What is the solution and what is the guarantee that it doesn't happen again? Maybe the guarantee is...
One minute.
Okay, Nasir Abdullah wants to ask a question. Nasir Abdullah will ask a question and Nupur Mehta will answer. Yes, Mr. Abdullah, go on.
One second.
I have the solution. Wait. I have the solution. Listen to me. I have the solution. 10 seconds. What we need to do is have a separate, proper department in the censor board. Whenever somebody is making a film which depicts any of the deities, any of the prophets of Tars, there should be a committee which should view this whole thing and then decide what you can do, what you can't do, so that the censor board is in the clear, because it is being accused of being actually complicit in destroying the image of the Hindu Dharma.
Okay,
Nupur
Mehta, or maybe filmmakers can just be a little more mindful. Nupur Mehta.
So, I would like to say...
No, it will never stop. That's a load of rubbish.
Absolutely.
Nupur Mehta.
You can play with the creativity, you do have the liberty to be imaginative, to be innovative and to be creative. But you don't have the liberty to distort the history, the mythology, the beliefs, the religious sentiments and views of a certain religion. The masses are outraged right now because their sentiments are hurt.
The masses are not outraged.
Now talking
That's
about
a load
the
of
censor
rubbish.
board,
You are
I would
lying.
definitely say
it has been started as a movement.
Of course they are
Masses
outraged.
are not being
Mr.
outraged.
Abdullah, don't speak
you
in
are
between.
lying. You
Please
are
don't
lying.
speak in between.
You are lying. It
Of course they are being outraged.
The masses
Listen,
are being
you have not done your
influenced. The
homework.
masses are
Nasir
being influenced.
Abdullah,
You are lying,
have you
madam.
seen Twitter?
You are lying.
Have you
You are
seen the
lying.
social
They are not,
media?
They are
Have
being
you
influenced.
seen the outrage
The
of
masses
people?
are not interested.
Please don't
the masses are not interested. Don't give me that rubbish,
Do you
madam.
understand?
Go and ask.
And please
Go and
don't
ask the
speak in
masses.
my time.
Go and ask the masses.
Please have
and then
some
come
manners.
back.
You
Go
have
and ask
no
the masses.
etiquette for
Go and
any
ask the
kind of
masses.
debate. You please keep
Go
quiet.
and ask the
Nobody is
masses.
asking you. We have
That's
already
rubbish.
heard your sentiments. Yes.
6 people.
Please don't make a mockery out of
10
yourself.
people get together. 10 people
And
get.
let other people
Somebody is
speak
saying
on
they'll
the
go to the
panel.
court. Here's another
Do you
thing.
know what
If
is
they
the
go
Hindu
to the court.
mythology?
Okay, Mr. Abdullah,
What
Mr.
is
Abdullah,
written in Hanuman
please.
Chalisa?
She's just
What is
only
the
started
attire?
speaking.
You said it,
It's fair, at least you let her speak. That being said, you say this is a handful of people, but this same handful of people said, we refuse to watch Lal Singh Chadda because this is our way of making our voices heard. We will put our money where our mouth is, literally.
What is the attire description of
And the rest is history.
What is the attire description of Ramji? Have you gone through Ramayan? Have you gone through Hanuman Chalisa? Through Sundarkand?
Okay, Mr. Abdullah, please one at a time, otherwise none of us will be heard. Let Ms. Nupur speak and then you can come back.
हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ सांझे. Do you know the meaning of this? Mr. Nasir Abdullah, don't open your mouth about Hindu mythology, or please do your homework and then come on the debate. Don't hurt our feelings.
Okay.
Are you the custodian? I know more about Hindu mythology than you think. Let us meet after the debate. Let's meet after the debate.
You know how many people have been hurt?
How many?
Nobody wants to meet you.
How
Sorry,
many?
I'm here to debate.
How
and
many?
I will keep
Tell me.
verdicts
tell me.
forward. We are all
you
here to
afraid?
give our
You don't have the
viewpoints,
numbers?
our
How
religious
many
views,
people
our
have been hurt?
feelings,
How
our views.
People have been hurt. You are lying, madam.
You please
You're
go and see
rubbish.
Twitter.
Tell me
What
how
an
many
outrage
how
has
many
been there
people?
to boycott
Tell me how
this
many?
film.
5, 10, 20, 40,000,
Nobody is talking rubbish
50,000,
except
just a
you. You are the mockery here. We don't want to interfere with your views because we don't support your views. Let me answer
thank you.
Padmaja Ji's question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there are other panelists also waiting.
Okay, please, let her speak so that then I can go across to the other guests. Please, they've been waiting very patiently. Mr. Abdullah, please. Otherwise, we'll just keep shouting. Go on, Ms. Nupur.
Okay.
So, Padmaja Ji, the point here is there's a certain description of the attire, of the character, of the repetition of the idols that we worship, of the gods that we worship and the goddesses, and it's very hurting. It's when the creative people, so-called creative people, they distort and they play with the feelings of the religious views that are already set in people's minds since ages. Making a mockery of something is no creativity. Sorry, there is no imagination, there's no innovation in it. If it was appreciated and if it was creative enough, the people would have definitely made it larger than life and made it divine and accepted it and appreciated it.
Okay.
If people are boycotting it and not liking it and disgracing it, there has to be a reason behind it.
Okay, Vivek Srivastav, now one part of the Hanuman Chalisa was quoted by Ms. Nupur over here, where she said, Haath abhajyo aur dhwaja viraje, kandhe mooj janeu saje. You've got talking about the janeu that he's got on, you've got that Kanchan Baran Biraj Supesa Kanan Kundal Kunchit Kesa, you've got the kundals that he's got on, and all of that is not there in this reimagining. And this is the Hanuman Chalisa, which is the way that Hanumanji has been described very explicitly.
Now let me speak.
Not translated on screen. Vivek Srivastav.
Yes. See, basically, Dor Gawar Shudra Pashu Nari, ye sab taran ke adhikari. तो ये भी लिखा गया है उसी टाइम पे समकालीन at the same time even this was written
आप नारी शक्ति का अपमान कर रहे हैं, आप नारी जाति का अपमान कर रहे हैं,
इनको ताड़ी
पशु का अपमान कर रहे हैं,
मैं ये बता रहा हूँ जो can I please speak?
आपको शर्म आनी चाहिए.
This is what was written in the Hindu text and this is what is quoted.
That is so sad. What are you quoting from
मैंने नहीं किया, ये आपके धार्मिक ग्रंथ में लिखा हुआ है.
Why would you go to that level?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say
somebody
is,
is quoting from Valmiki Ramayana, somebody is quoting from Hanuman Chalisa. God knows what you have dragged in.
No. She is quoting Hanuman. Can I speak? She is quoting Hanuman Chalisa from the time of Tulsidas, and the religious Hindu text I quoted is also from the same time, but Ramayana is much before that, and there are 300 Ramayanas. So which Ramayana to believe and which not to believe? There is Shambhuk was killed by Lord Rama. Some Ramayans are saying it.
You respect? If
so
you're giving such
there is only one Ramayana. So Ramayana to believe and which not to believe. So why only
Vivek ji, there is only one Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. There are various retellings. There is only one Ramayana.
There are more than 300 Ramayanas.
Valmiki Ramayana is the foundation. Valmiki Ramayana is the core.
Sorry sir, you're wrong.
There is only one Ramayana, that is Valmiki Ramayana. And that Valmiki Ramayana has been celebrated in various ways.
Okay, Vivek Srivastav, you know what is funny? You keep saying there are many Ramayans, but you still haven't quoted. Hold on a second. You still haven't given the example of which Ramayan, which you have read, and you've read so many, has Hanumanji or Ravan described in this fashion. Because while you see many interpretations and picturizations, the funny thing is that Indonesia also has its own version of the Ramayana, which still shows Ravan, Hanumanji, Sri Ram in exactly the same avatar that you see them in India. Not like this VFX Ramayana. So people in Indonesia also see Ramayana interpreted in one way, which is how we see it. But you are like, nah, I have a different Ramayana. Which Ramayana is it? Can we see the Indonesia visuals?
Give me 30 seconds. आप मुझे 30 सेकंड दीजिए. आप मुझे 30 सेकंड दे सकती हैं मैडम? आपने 30 सेकंड बोल लिया, मुझे 30 सेकंड दे दीजिए. अब आप सुनिए. First of all, the biggest Ram Leela and the Ramayana that was staged live in the world ever was the Legend of Rama, and it was directed by Amir Raza Hussain. Okay, And there are more than 300 Ramayanas, as I told you.
And Amir Raza Hussein's Ramayana also had Ravan pictured like we see him otherwise. This is not about religion, sir. Why do you persist in making it about religion?
Please complete.
It's got nothing to do with religion.
No, he's not persisting.
You are again not letting me complete.
It is not a
मैडम मैं चुप हो जाता हूँ, आप ही बोल लीजिए फिर.
अच्छा बोलिए.
आपको सुनना ही नहीं है फिर.
I don't know why you got an Amir Raza Hussain sahab.
For prophets. Please give me 30 seconds.
Go on. Yes.
You are not letting me speak after 10 seconds. It is a very bad way to speak and it's very rude. You should let me speak for 30 seconds and then you counter me if you have the courage. That courage you are not having. Shambhuk Vad. Shambhuk was killed by Lord Rama. It is written in a Ramayana. Should we believe it or not?
Rudeness.
How did Lord Lakshman lose his life? There are various versions. How did Lord Rama pass away himself? There are various versions. There are various versions. There are 300 versions. And secondly, this
Ramayana are you speaking about?
With a good intention. This
what
movie
are you
was made by
talking?
Ram Bhatt.
This is offensive.
This movie was made by people who love Lord Rama.
This is offensive.
This movie was made by people who went to Ayodhya. So that they could promote their movie.
Okay, which is this communist Ramayana that you are quoting from, and what was that example you quoted, Mr. Srivastava? Can you please repeat? So that hold on a second. Okay, again, can I please have silence for 20 seconds? Vivek Srivastava, can you please repeat what specific instance you quoted from your Chinese Ramayana?
Where is the architecture of Pushpak Viman given? Is Mr. Rahul Ishwar sitting on the Pushpak Viman today? And can he tell me what he looks like? Can he tell me what Ravana looks like?
I'm actually going to quote to you from verses of the Ramayana where Pushpak Viman is described very explicitly. Go on.
Are you going to control every Ram Leela?
Okay, go on.
Are you going to control every Ram Leela in every village, on every street?
Rahul Ishwar.
Where there are changes in dresses?
Rahul Ishwar.
Where there are problems? Where there are dances?
Just one line. Please remember.
One line, Rahul
please
Ishwar,
remember, there is only one Ramayana and that is Valmiki Ramayana. Just one line. There is only one Ramayana, that is Valmiki Ramayana. That Valmiki Ramayana is celebrated not only in 300 but 3,000 ways across the world. That should be respected. These are pictures of Indonesian Ramayana. There are Muslim brothers and sisters respectfully depict Ramayana by wearing the proper dress. Please remember, Ramayana's story is Valmiki Ramayana because Valmiki was a biographer of Lord Srirama.
Absolutely.
There has been various celebrations of Ramayana we respect, but these things are a Planet of Apes Ramayana. These things are vampire-driven Hollywood kind of Ramayana, and people will naturally be offended. And Vivek Srivastava ji, you might have a communist Ramayana, I don't know, but please remember, Valmiki Ramayana is the core.
Since you asked a very specific question, where has Rahul Ishwar seen the Pushpak Viman? What Pushpak Viman is he talking about? And whoever said that Pushpak Viman is essential, there is actually a specific shlok in the Valmiki Ramayana, which maybe is the one version you haven't read, which goes as follows.
So please don't
Let me quote to you, sir. Mr. Srivastava,
There are 300 Ramayanas. There are so many variations.
I am challenging you to name me where is a bat, the vehicle of Ravan in any one of those 299. Since you've read all. I haven't. I will quote to you from the one that I have read about the Pushpak Viman, 20 seconds of silence. Then I really must bring in I must bring in the other guests also, Mr. Shehzad Khan. So listen to me, please. Yasya tat pushpakam nam vimanam kamagam shubham viryad avarji tam bhadre yen yami vihaisam. It says very specifically in the Valmiki Ramayana, I am Ravan, अपनी वीरता से कुबेर के शुभ विमान को अर्जित किया है, मैं इसे अपने आदेश से इसके सहारे आकाश में उड़ता हूं. It says very clearly that he rides on the Pushpak Viman. There's a specific instance. Now, you want to take creative liberty and you are like, to hell with this. I'm going to make it into a pigeon or a parrot or a peacock, whatever. What's wrong with that, Rahul Ishwar? That could also be argued. This is a creative interpretation. Nobody said that I am documenting the life and times of Lord Ram.
Pointed out that there is a...
As you rightly point out, there is an apt description given. That can be beautified. Please remember, don't distort the core. Don't distort the soul. You can beautify, add, decorate. But distortion of the core by bringing in a vampire-like bat, which Ravana is riding, is absolutely nonsensical. This is a fraud on creativity itself. I hope those great directors, we all love the director, and these Prabhas is a great star. I hope they will rethink, at least after this backlash or criticism. These creative people should remember that there are sensitivities involved and change it. I believe they can even think of changing right now by bringing in more of a beautified version.
Okay, before you respond, Sumansi Raman, I think Mr. Shehzad Khan also wants to come in. Mr. Khan, you have already a model. You want to beautify it, you want to enhance it, but at least make it vaguely accurate.
Well,
पद्मजा जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका मुझे आपके शो पे बुलाने का और मौका देने का। पिछले आधे घंटे से मैं हमारे सारे पैनलिस्ट को सुन रहा हूँ एंड मैं 2-3 चीज़ें कहना चाहूँगा, मुख्तसर सी बातें हैं कि इस देश की 135 करोड़ जनता, उसमें से 80 करोड़ जनता जो है वो गवर्नमेंट के दिए हुए राशन पे चल रही है। तो बच कितनी जाती है? 50-55 करोड़ लोग बच जाते। उसमें से भी जो 50-55 करोड़ है, हम ऐसी चीज़ें करके उन्हें भी थिएटर जाने से हम मना कर देते हैं। हमने बहुत ही, हमारे पैनलिस्ट ने सही कहा कि हम पढ़े लिखे जब इतने उलझ जाते हैं और वी स्टार्ट फाइटिंग ओवर इट, तो जो कम पढ़ा लिखा तबका है उनका आप ब्रेन वॉश कर रहे हैं सब चीज़ें करके। और फिल्म इंडस्ट्री जो है 5000 करोड़ तो मैंने सुना था कि रेवेन्यू जाता है हमारे सरकार को, हो सकता है इससे ज़्यादा भी हो। ये सब करके हम किसका नुकसान कर रहे हैं? हम अपने देश का नुकसान कर रहे हैं। हमें पहले देशभक्त बनना चाहिए, उसके बाद बाकी चीज़ें सारी आती है। ठीक है, अगर आपको कोई तकलीफ है किसी चीज़ से, किसी दृश्य से, तो आप उस पर एक हेल्दी डिस्कशन करिए। जो हमारा सेंसर बोर्ड है, जो जिम्मेदार है सब चीज़ों का, उनको बुलाइए। जिन्होंने जो इस फिल्म को पास किया है उनको भी डिबेट पे बुलाइए ना। हम और आप और राहुल ईश्वर और बाकी जितने हमारे गेस्ट है, पैनलिस्ट है, हम आपस में लड़ झगड़ के क्यों एक बदमज़गी पैदा कर रहे हैं? उनको बुलाइए। और हमें हम सिर्फ हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, हम सब की जिम्मेदारी, हम सब हिंदुस्तानी है। हिंदुस्तान, पद्मजा जी, आपका भी उतना ही है जितना मेरा है, क्योंकि हम और आप सब यहीं पैदा हुए। तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें लेके हम लड़ रहे, झगड़ रहे, एक दूसरे को ह्यूमिलेट कर रहे हैं, चिल्ला रहे, इट डजंट गिव अ गुड थिंग। जो हमें टीवी पे देख रहे हैं पूरी दुनिया में, और जो नॉन इंडियंस हैं वो क्या देख रहे हैं?
You're absolutely right. And the idea is, you're absolutely right in saying that this is not about humiliating anyone, which is why I laid down the line in the beginning that nobody will, should and ever can condone any kind of vigilantism. But if somebody stands up and says, I do not agree with this picturization, please be more sensitive about it. Is that an unreasonable request to make? To say, it matters. This community cares.
आपका रिक्वेस्ट बिल्कुल सही, आपकी रिक्वेस्ट बिल्कुल सही है. I totally agree with your request, but there is a way of putting it, no? We are already in doldrums. 2 years we were in COVID, no work. Abhi slowly we have started working. Our economy has to grow. We all have to grow. Our Prime Minister wants to make us one of the strongest country in the world.
Okay, Nupur Mehta, answer this. Already this industry is in doldrums, and then you come with your hurt sentiments and your boycotts. You are pushing people over the edge. And for what? Nupur Mehta.
Padmaja ji, I agree with Shehzad ji. What he is speaking about is of a global decorum, a mannerism that should be kept in mind for a global platform. Yes, we should love our country, we must respect each other, we must respect all religion, we must be secular minded. Everything is written also in the Constitution of India. I don't disagree with him. I'm in complete agreement. I'm in complete approval. But the point here is not that. The debate here is about hurting the mythological feelings. Please talk about that also, Shehzadji. What are your mythological feelings about this description, about this depiction that has been portrayed by the so-called creative people, the directors and the creative team of the film? Please, let's talk about that also, and not about a feeling on a global platform.
Yeah. I would...
1 minute to me.
Yes, Mr. Abdullah, I'll come to you also. Let Mr. Khan come, please.
जी आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है। अगर आपको कोई चीज़ बुरी लग रही है या आपको लग रहा है ये वैसा नहीं है जो आपने देखा है, तो आप उस पर कह सकती हैं, आप कह सकती है। बट क्रिएटिव टीम में हम और आप तो नहीं है, या पद्मजा जी तो नहीं है उसमें, ना नासिर भाई है, ना जितने हमारे रिस्पेक्टेड पैनलिस्ट है वो है, वो एक अलग क्रिएटिव टीम है। एंड वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग दैट मिस्टर ओम,
सब जानते हैं शहजाद जी, हम और आप नहीं हैं, और क्रिएटिव टीम ने जो क्रिएटिविटी दर्शाई है,
एंड मिस्टर भूषण कुमार whose father late Shri Gulshan Kumar was such a religious person, was such a dedicated person. This film is a tribute from a son to a father, which he said on the launching in Ayodhya. And loudly it was said that we are all Sanatanis here, we only follow Sanatan Dharam. No, more than that, what do you want?
But Mr. Khan, again, this is not about the religion of the maker or the actor. It is only about a general lack of sensitivity to others' feelings, irrespective of religion.
I just want to make you... No, exactly. So see, the film... Exactly. So I want to tell you one thing, that the film is not made by me or you. It is made by the people. That's why I'm taking their names. They are more responsible.
That is why those people are being questioned.
They're making
for
about their own religion.
Deafness.
Yeah.
Not you and me. That's why we are having a debate over this, that the way they have portrayed the certain depiction, it is not right and it is not acceptable. It is highly questionable. And we do have a right to speak.
Right to speak. Nasir Abdullah. Okay, Mr. Abdullah and Dr. Sumansi Raman have been waiting. Okay, Nasir Abdullah.
Okay. I will say this. Thank you. I will say this once more. There is only one way that we can stop this strange way of interacting and discussing a film and behaving like, out-shouting each other and jumping around like the monkeys. As I said, create a department that will, anything to do with any religious situation in the film, create a department, because that is the best way to stop all this. This is rubbish. We are jumping around like monkeys, and this will go on and on forever. Somebody will make some stupid mistake according to the others, and they'll say,
"Oh, Hamara Manua, stop all this." Except one person on the panel. I don't want to name.
Please don't.
And I think Padmaja Ji,
with the greatest of respect, Mr. Abdullah, I don't think you're jumping like a monkey at all. Your point of view is much appreciated. Dr. Sumansi Raman.
Jumping around like monkeys, we are attacking.
Padmaja, I have only one question now for 1 minute, Mr. Abdullah. I have one question for Nupur Mehta. How did she make out that is leather?
Yes,
did
please.
We've now got a 1 minute 46 second.
It is very depictable, and
how do you know? How do you know? Wait. Tell me, how did you know it is leather?
Very depictable. It is written everywhere on social media.
How do you know? How do you know it is leather? Wait.
How do you know that it is not leather? Let me throw back the question on you. When 80 crore people after watching the teaser and trailer have said it is leather, then how can you mention and put a doubt on it?
Arey Baba, you are not answering the question.
It is unequivocal. It is doubtless. It is certain it's leather. People have raised an issue about it.
List of various things that you get outraged.
Media is not going to give statements.
Okay.
And give phrases.
How do you know?
Okay. You choose to pick up on this one thing about leather, even if it is not, sir. It is the general picturization, the imagery. If people have a problem and are saying, maybe think about how you want to show it in the future, not entirely unreasonable. That being said, it's not about religion. It is not about vigilantism. Rahi Masoom Raza was the one who wrote Mahabharat. And as far as Mr. Shehzad Khan himself, big fan, sir, from Andaz Apna Apna. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much, all gentlemen, and Nupur Mehta from joining me.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky and discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. PM Modi will be inaugurating 4 projects and will lay the foundation stone in Himachal Pradesh, Bilaspur tomorrow. Jio has announced the beta trial of its True 5G services on the auspicious occasion of Dussehra for its users in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata and Varanasi. Delhi LG has launched a probe into Discom discrepancies, wrote to Chief Secretary to inquire into the alleged irregularities in the power subsidy, asked for report in 7 days. Meanwhile, AAP has slammed the LG, called it a targeted attack and said LG is in cahoots with the BJP and conspiring against the people of Delhi.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
You can't.
Hour at 10.
Bombay High Court grants bail to the former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in a money laundering case registered by the ED. Bombay High Court grants bail to the former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in a money laundering case registered by the ED. Election Commission of India has written to political parties asking them to provide authentic information to the voters on the financial viability of their election promises. In the Patra Chaul land scam case, a special court in Mumbai has extended the judicial custody of Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Rao till October 10. His bail plea hearing will also be on the same date. In a historic step, the IIF has announced induction of female Agniveers starting next year. The demolition drive undertaken by the Gujarat government in Porbandar turned violent as large crowds gathered around police personnel at the site.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
You can't.
Times Now has accessed the telephonic conversation between the accused Pulkit Arya and Ankita's friend. This is a phone conversation that took place between the main accused Pulkit Arya and Ankita's close friend. Listen in.
हेलो
हेलो।
हाँ, पता लगा कुछ?
हेलो, बात करता हूँ बस आपको आधे घंटे में। हम यहीं बैठे हुए हैं अभी।
कहाँ बैठे हो आप?
यहाँ स्टेशन में, पुलिस स्टेशन में।
पुलिस स्टेशन में?
हाँ, वो इंस्पेक्टर से बात हो गई है, वो पहुँच रहे हैं अभी हमारे पास 10-15 मिनट में।
आप अभी पुलिस स्टेशन में हो, वो रिजॉर्ट में जाएंगे
क्या? हाँ, रिजॉर्ट में जाएंगे, पूरा सारा सब देखेंगे, सारी चीज सब देखेंगे, कहाँ है, किसके साथ बात किया, क्या नहीं किया, कॉल डिटेल पूरी निकालेंगे, हिस्ट्री सब निकालेंगे। भाई ये सब करना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा, मुझे एक बात बताइए।
हाँ,
जब आपने मेरे को रात को फोन किया था कि इनको ले जाओ, है ना, कहीं और जॉब ढूंढो, तो उसके बाद से उनका फोन बंद क्यों हुआ है? मेरे को ये समझ नहीं आ रहा।
भैया आपको सारी बात समझाएंगे, अभी आप आधा घंटा दीजिए, आधे घंटे बाद बात करते हैं।
चलो ये भी मानता हूँ, चलो जो भी है, मेरे को ये समझ नहीं आ रहा, आपने अपना पर्सनल फोन कैसे दे दिया पूरी रात के लिए?
भैया मेरा पर्सनल फोन क्या है, मेरे फोन में क्या है, ऐसा कुछ
नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है। जैसे मेरा कोई पर्सनल फोन है, मैं पूरी रात के लिए किसी को थोड़ी ना दूंगा।
हो सकता है कि शायद आपके पर्सनल फोन में कुछ ऐसी चीजें रहती हो कि आप किसी को नहीं दे सकते हो।
नहीं, जो मर्जी हो।
He held a telephonic conversation with Ukrainian President Zelensky and discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. PM Modi will be inaugurating 4 projects and will lay the foundation stone in Himachal Pradesh, Bilaspur tomorrow. Jio has announced the beta trial of its True 5G services on the auspicious occasion of Dussehra for its users in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata and Varanasi. Delhi LG has launched a probe into Discom discrepancies, wrote to Chief Secretary to inquire into the alleged irregularities in the power subsidy, asked for report in 7 days. Meanwhile, AAP has slammed the LG, called it a targeted attack and said LG is in cahoots with the BJP and conspiring against the people of Delhi.
पर्सनल फोन है ना, बंदा कहीं पे भी फोन कर सकता है।
और दूसरी बात क्या है ना, ऐसा है, देखिए मैं अभी यहाँ बैठा हुआ हूँ, मैं आपको भी आधे घंटे में बात करता हूँ।
देखो जो मर्जी हो, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपकी, आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा, जो मर्जी हो।
भाई साहब वही कर रहे हैं, और आप ना हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मत समझाइए पुष्प, समझ रहे हैं आप?
देखिए मैं आपको समझा नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं आपको याद दिला रहा हूँ।
बस आपको याद दिलाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम जानते हैं हम कितने रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं।
हाँ, बिल्कुल, आप ढूंढिए।
The most pressing issue, the most informed minds, free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में?
नहीं, हेमामान
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त जैन जी राधे कल राखी सावंत का फिल्म देंगे। He will also become. सांसद बनना चाहेंगे उसको तो आप बनने नहीं देंगे। आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा। आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में?
नहीं, हेमामान
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त जैन जी राधे कल राखी सावंत का फिल्म देंगे। He will also become. बहुत अच्छी बात है।
आपका क्या विचार है इस बार? आप
मेरा विचार क्या मैं बताऊं? मेरा विचार भगवान के ऊपर है। लॉर्ड कृष्णा विल डू इट।
तो मैं तो देश की सेवा के लिए ही पैदा हुई हूँ और मैं देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूँ। और क्यों नहीं, हमारे मोदी साहब, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी चाय बनाते बनाते प्रधानमंत्री जी पीएम बन सकते हैं, तो मैं बॉलीवुड में काम करते करते सीएम क्यों नहीं बन सकती हूँ? डेफिनेटली मैं बनूंगी, आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए। तो 2024 में अब आप मुझे चुनाव लड़ते हुए देखेंगे, किसके अपोजिट, ये सरप्राइज है।
These were the Hawala route transactions that is being set through dubious NRI accounts, how the UPC is sending money back home so that they can be used as secret donations. Now, what exactly were these secret donations? Let's throw another round of graphics, tell you exactly how this modus operandi also worked. This is when it comes to the PFI functionaries there, how they were based abroad, how exactly when it comes to their Hawala transactions and routes, how the money was misused and how it was brought back home in a way to use it as a hate propaganda against the vulnerable youth. We have also seen that when it comes to the indoctrination, several incriminating materials that has also been recovered.
That how physical camps used to be organized by PFI in the name of karate camps, karate school, and through these they used to be provoked with hate speeches, and by imparting this information about the alleged violence against Muslims in Jammu.
Hello and welcome and a very good evening. This is News Now Overnight and I'm Siddharth Talia. Let's take you through the top 50 headlines this hour at 11 o'clock. During his visit to Jammu and Kashmir, Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a mega rally in Rajouri, listed changes in Naya Jammu and Kashmir after the virtual abrogation of Article 370. He said terrorism has now been defeated. Now, during the course of his rally, Amit Shah also added that after the virtual abrogation of Article 370 and the removal of Article 35A, the process for the reservation for several communities has now been cleared. He said that with the removal now, minorities, Dalits, tribals as well as Pahadis will get their rights. During Amit Shah's visit, temporary suspension of mobile data services was ordered in Jammu and Rajouri districts, citing fear of deterioration in public order. Ahead of Amit Shah's visit, Jammu and Kashmir DG Prisons Hemant Kumar Lohia was found murdered at his residence in Jammu. The main accused in that murder case of DG Hemant Lohia is his domestic help, who's now been apprehended by the authorities. Police have so far managed to find no terror link. The personal diary of the main accused in the murder case has now been accessed. The police have said that it revealed a depressed mind fixated on death. After Rahul Gandhi's fiery speech, Congress released 2 new songs, one featuring citizens vowing not to get deterred by challenges. The other shows Rahul Gandhi marching along with children. The Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena launched a probe into DISCOM discrepancies. He's written to the Chief Secretary of Delhi to inquire into alleged irregularities in power subsidy to DISCOMs. He's asked for a report within a span of 7 days. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party slammed the Lieutenant Governor. It called it a targeted attack on the part of the LG, saying that Mr. Saxena is in cahoots with the Bharatiya Janata Party and conspiring against the people of Delhi. In the alleged money laundering case filed by the Enforcement Directorate, former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh's bail was granted by the Bombay High Court, but he will remain behind bars as the CBI has also been pursuing a case against him. The Election Commission of India has written to political parties asking them to provide authentic information to voters about the financial viability of the respective election promises that they make. In the Patra Chaul land scam case, a special court in Mumbai has extended the judicial custody of Shiv Sena Member of Parliament Mr. Sanjay Raut till the 10th of October. His bail plea hearing will also be held on the same date. In a historic step, the Indian Air Force has announced the induction of female Agniveers starting next year. Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary further added that a weightage of 10% is being considered for women who want to be part of the Agnipath scheme, which may grow with time. Unknown miscreants issue warning about the return of the Popular Front of India following its ban. Following spray painting, the warning on a road in Mangaluru in Karnataka, cops are now investigating the matter. Madhya Pradesh's Home Minister Narottam Mishra has warned the filmmaker of Adipurush, saying don't insult Hindu sentiments by misrepresenting Hindu icons and religious figures. He's added that legal action will be considered if certain scenes from the trailer are not actually removed. 2 communities clashed in Vadodara in Gujarat after youth attempted to install an Islamic flag near a temple in the Salvi area of Vadodara city. Police has now booked at least 46 people and arrested 40 following that clash. Indian Navy Intelligence and the Narcotics Control Bureau in a joint operation seized narcotics worth rupees 6 crore from Jamnagar in Gujarat. 1 person has been arrested in this case. In a shocking hate attack in Gujarat's Kheda district, stones were pelted at a Navratri procession. 6 have been reported injured. Victims have demanded strict action. The police have said that all the accused responsible for stone pelting in Kheda in Gujarat have been identified. Around 10 of the 43 accused have been detained so far for interrogation. It's been several days now since youths were attacked and beaten up at Garba events in Madhya Pradesh. No action has yet been initiated against the vigilantes so far. 10 people were killed and at least 18 people feared trapped in an avalanche that hit Draupadi Danda 2 mountain peak in Uttarakhand. The rescue operations are still underway. Swapna Suresh, one of the accused in the Kerala gold scam case, appeared before the Central Bureau of Investigation in Kochi in connection with the Life Mission scam of 2020. Section 144 was imposed after the demolition drive undertaken by the Gujarat government in Porbandar turned violent as large crowds gathered around police personnel at the site. The Nobel Prize in Physics for 2022 was awarded to Alan Aspect, John F. Claus and Anton Zeilinger for their work on quantum mechanics at the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. Telangana Chief Minister KCR is likely to announce the name of his national party on the occasion of Dussehra tomorrow. The Janata Dal secular leader H.D. Kumaraswamy, also former Chief Minister of Karnataka, arrived in Hyderabad ahead of the launch of a national party by Telangana Chief Minister KCR. He was received by TRS leader and KCR's son K.T. Ramarao. TRS leader Rajnala Srihari could be seen distributing liquor bottles and 200 chickens to labourers in Warangal in Telangana ahead of Chief Minister KCR launching his national party. 3 people arrested in the terror module case in Telangana have now been sent to 14 days of judicial custody. The accused have been booked under several provisions of the UAPA. Given the recent outrage over dog attacks, a collective of citizens under the banner India Unites for Animal Rights conducted vaccination drives for street dogs across the national capital for a week in order to spread the message of compassion towards man's best friend. More headlines now. Prime Minister Modi will be inaugurating 4 projects. He'll be laying the foundation stone in Himachal Pradesh, Bilaspur tomorrow. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was seen performing Kanya Pujan on the occasion of Navami in Gorakhpur. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is on a 2-day visit to the state of Uttarakhand to celebrate the festival of Vijayadashmi with soldiers in Auli and Mana. President of India Draupadi Murmu laid the foundation stone for various projects and also launched Her Start, a startup platform of Gujarat University for women entrepreneurs. A Delhi court has sent a Russian national to CBI custody for 2 days in the JEE Main 2021 paper leak case. Border Security Force troops opened fire at a drone from Pakistan after hearing a buzzing sound of the flying object along the international border in Punjab's Gurdaspur sector. In an unfortunate incident that took place in Mumbai, a 4-year-old boy got injured after he was attacked by a leopard in Goregaon, very close to the RA colony area. The boy has been admitted in the hospital for further treatment. 6 people were washed away after they stepped into the Kolidam River for a bath near Tanjavur district in the state of Tamil Nadu. While the bodies of 2 individuals have now been recovered, the rescue operations are underway to find the remaining 4. Jio has announced the beta trial of its True 5G services on the auspicious occasion of Dussehra for its users in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata and Varanasi. India reported nearly 2,000 COVID-19 cases with 15 deaths over the last 24 hours. The country's daily positivity rate now stands at 0.94%. India took on South Africa today in the 3rd and final T20 match of the 3-match series. And this is something that is part of a series that's already been decided, with India having already taken an unassailable 2-0 lead. A day after the BCCI revealed that Jasprit Bumrah will not feature in India's World Cup T20 squad, the injured pacer has shared an emotional statement on Twitter saying that he was gutted at not being able to lead the bowling attack for India. Indian Army recruits a talented boxer and Commonwealth Games 2022 bronze medalist Ms. Jasmine Lamboria in its ranks as a recruit Havildar in the Corps of the Military Police. She is the second meritorious sportswoman to join the Indian Army Mission Olympics after recruits resume. Prime Minister Modi held a telephonic conversation with his Ukrainian counterpart, President Volodymyr Zelensky. He discussed the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Prime Minister Modi also reiterated the need to pursue the path of dialogue and diplomacy. Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, began his 3-day teachings for around 400 Taiwanese Buddhist followers in McLeodganj in Dharmashala on the 3rd of October. North Korea fired a ballistic missile over Japan, forcing Japan to issue evacuation notices and suspend trains during the flight of the nuclear-capable weapon that could reach US territory of Guam. Google announced that it was shutting down the Google Translate service in mainland China, citing low usage in that country. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan asked his party workers to prepare for Hakiki Azadi March later this week to press for the dissolution of the National Assembly and announce fresh elections in the country. President Joe Biden announced that the United States will further place costs on Iran in its response on the violent crackdown against peaceful protesters in the country following the hijab protest that took place in Iran. Former US President Donald Trump sued CNN seeking $475 million in damages, saying that the network had defamed him in an effort to short-circuit any future political campaign on his part. Turning our attention to news now, film Adipurush, which is scheduled to release in January 2023, is mired in controversy ever since the 1-minute 46-second teaser of the epic Ramayana was in fact launched. The film, which is an adaptation of the Ramayana, has grabbed the eyeballs when it comes to the depiction of certain characters, including Ravana, played by Saif Ali Khan. From his beard to his hairdo to the giant monster bat that can be seen riding in the teaser, critics have gone ahead to the extent of comparing him to Alauddin Khilji. From outrage on the social media, the makers of the film have now been warned of legal action if certain scenes deemed objectionable are not removed. And the warning has come from none other than the Home Minister of the state of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Narottam Mishra, who objected to the teaser showing Hanuman that he claimed is seen to be wearing a leather vest. Mishra said that this is against the description of Hanuman's attire mentioned in the Holy Scriptures.
मैंने उसका ट्रेलर देखा है और सच में उसमें आपत्तिजनक दृश्य हैं। हमारी आस्था के जो केंद्र बिंदु हैं उनको जिस रूप में दिखाया गया है वो अच्छा नहीं है। ये धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले दृश्य हैं और मैं इसके जो निर्माता हैं ओम राउत जी, उनको पत्र लिख रहा हूं कि इस तरह की जितने भी दृश्य हैं इन्हें वो हटाएं। अगर वो नहीं हटाते हैं तो उसके बाद में हम कानूनी कार्रवाई पर विचार करें।
बात करें तो आश्रम फिल्म की बात करें या माँ काली फिल्म की बात करें या सत्यनारायण की कथा वेब सीरीज की बात करें या बात करें तो करवा चौथ के हेड की बात करें, इन सब के अंदर किस प्रकार से क्या हुआ, कैसा चित्रण हुआ, इसको लेके इनके बयान हम देखते रहते हैं। अभी आदि पुरुष पिक्चर को लेके सामने आ गए। बेहतर हो कि इनको गृह विभाग की जिम्मेदारी से पदमुक्त कर इनको फिल्मों के सेंसर बोर्ड का सदस्य बना देना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो इनका वास्तविक काम है उससे तो ये नदारद रहते हैं। कौन सी फिल्म में, कौन सी वेब सीरीज में और कौन सा अभिनेता ने और कौन सी अभिनेत्री ने किस सीन के अंदर क्या किया, इस पर इनका विशेष ध्यान रहता है।
Now, the film Adipurush has also incurred the wrath of several seers who have called it an insult to the Sanatan Dharma.
हमारे देवी देवताओं का अपमान हो रहा है। हमारे देवी देवताओं का अपमान तो कोई स्वप्न में भी नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन कुछ ऐसे विधर्मी लोग हैं, वो हमारे समाज में भी हैं। और जब मैंने एक श्लोक के माध्यम से आपको बता दिया, जब ऐसी प्रकृतियां, ऐसे विरोधी तत्व पैदा होते हैं तो कोई न कोई महापुरुष प्रकट होता है और इनका संहार करता है। यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य, जब जब सनातन धर्म का ह्रास हुआ तब तक कोई न कोई महापुरुष पैदा हुआ और उसने सबका नाश कर दिया। तो उस समय आ चुका है। अगर ये लोग ऐसा नहीं करेंगे, सनातन धर्म का अपमान नहीं करेंगे, तो इनका नाश कैसे होगा।
Now, the Ram Leela is an indispensable part of the Dussehra celebrations, and my colleague Pranesh Kumar Roy managed to in fact speak to some of the characters depicting some of the religious icons from the Ramayana in the Ram Leela. Let's listen into what they had to say about the reactions that are pouring in about the movie Adipurush.
Controversy around the film Adipurush has given us this opportunity to have special guests in our studio. people who play Ram, Sita and Lakshman on stage. टाइम्स नाउ में आप सबका स्वागत है.
धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सो मच.
धन्यवाद.
मैं शुरू करना चाहता हूं. मैं आपसे सबसे पहले जानना चाहता हूं कि अभी आप लोगों ने नवरात्रि में रामायण प्ले किया, स्टेज शोज किए. कंट्रोवर्सी, एक नई फिल्म आ रही है आदिपुरुष, उसमें अब आप हमारे साथ चलिए. मैं आपको कुछ दिखाना चाहता हूं कि कंट्रोवर्सी शुरू कैसे हुई. ये देखिए, हमने बड़े स्क्रीन पे यहाँ पे ये पोस्टर खोला है, जो फिल्म का ये पोस्टर आया है, और ये सैफ अली खान है जो रावण का किरदार प्ले कर रहे हैं. अब मैं आप तीनों से एक एक करके जानना चाहता हूं. आप यहाँ आ जाइए, आप लोग यहाँ आ जाइए सब, कि ये रावण है. इस